wrestling fans, from body slams to high-flying plans. Join the chat, hear the scoops. Jump in quick, don't be a stoop. We're throwing down in every match with tales and fights that you can't catch. The Marks Podcast is the place to be for every wrestling mystery.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tony Chimmel, the GOAT of ring announcers. And you're listening to the Marks Podcast on YouTube.
It is 6 o'clock. It's Sunday night. You know what times I'm. You know what that means. That Dan's gonna fuck up an intro.
You fucked up. I'm sorry.
Welcome to the Marks Podcast. I am Dan. That is the inside man Gerard Millette and Jacob McGovern.
Did you change some of the intro?
No, fuck. I don't know. I'm fucking tired.
The actual video intro? The stuff with Randy Orton and Elizabeth? Wow.
That wasn't Randy Orton. That was okay, old man. You fucking delirium is hitting in. That was Macho Man Randy Savage.
No, you had Randy Orton in there now.
He's been in there.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Wow, the guy who's the host of a channel goes and kicks it with somebody else, and now he doesn't remember anything that goes on in his own fucking show.
There's not enough Jinder Mahal or Baron Corbin for my liking, so it gets a.
I would have loved to kick somebody else, but I didn't kick with somebody else.
Wow.
So, do we want to get into night 2 of WrestleMania? Do we want to get into Raw? Do we want to get into SmackDown?
I think it's fair that we get into the fallout of night 2 of WrestleMania.
Well, talk about night 2 of WrestleMania. That woman's match. Whoa, motherfucker.
Hey, I think you guys will all agree. Night 2 was the exact flip of night 1.
I think I told you this. I told you this that fucking Monday. I said if they would have put the Punk match on night 2, that would have been a great card.
No, what I mean by that is Saturday night's card, from beginning to the last match, it had to rise to the last match to get better. Where Sunday night's card, from the first match back to the last one, it went down.
I don't know. I mean, I thought there were some good matches on night 2. I mean, we got to see the fucking greatest luchador of all time whoop that ass.
But you still had the best match of the night first.
I know. El Grande Americano.
That wasn't first.
Yeah, man, that was... What a fucking story, man. El Grande Americano, he comes
blackballed.
Blackballed for almost, I don't know how long it's been. What, fuck, man, 20
Next you're going to tell me Mr. America under the mask with Edge was one of the...
No, because that guy is a racist. We all know it. Mr. America was a racist. And now apparently he's trying to promote his own beer or some shit.
But, hey, he was a hell of a tag team partner, though.
Well, and it's we have the opposite, in NXT.
Dementia is also a good tag team partner as well.
We have the opposite in NXT. There was a guy once called A-Kid, and he was on there, and he was he was a very talented guy, and then he just disappeared, and then now it's a guy named Axiom showed up, and it's just uncanny. I don't know, man.
Hey, let's say it's night 2 of WrestleMania, to where when you go back and look at it, right? Night 2 of WrestleMania, and now don't get me wrong. I've said it before. I was looking for a B for the whole 2 nights, a B. Did I get my B? No. And because a lot of it had to do, I didn't think you had clear-cut finishes. It took a long time to get to the ending. The finishes weren't great.
Well, I wouldn't even say it was a great WrestleMania. I'll say that the first match was excellent. This is me being 100% candid serious. I thought Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and Bianca Belair stole the show. Enough so that Bianca broke her fucking fingers. Fucking Rhea took a hell of a shiner. And, the right woman came out on top. I think Io did a wonderful job. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. But I always enjoyed Chad Gable, right? Grande Americano, wherever the fuck it is going on. I enjoy his work. I think he's a wonderful in-ring technician. But then you got to that main event, and I don't give a fuck about it being Travis Scott. The match itself was very fucking It was not. It just didn't do it.
It was a very run of the mill, probably the safest match they could have done. And not that I was expecting like a big brawl, not that I was expecting like some type, but I was at least expecting like something, because like there was a point like during the match where I'm just like, okay, man, this is a little too. And by the way the crowd turned on Cody in that match was fucking.
Okay, but the thing is we've been talking about it for almost a year now. We all have turned on Cody. It was one thing for him to get his story done. I have pushed this narrative since the jump. Money is not in the fucking babyface holding that title. Money is in the babyface chasing it. Cody Rhodes is the perfect example of, yay, you won your story. What are you going to do next? He didn't do shit. Let's be honest. Who the fuck did he defend that title against?
He faced Solo. By the way, that's a whole nother fucking can of worms about what they've done with Solo. But he faced Solo, and that was it. And I can't remember much after
Kevin
that.
Owens a couple times.
And I would say this. I'm going to say this right now. Cody Rhodes, you might have cost Kevin Owens his career. I'm going to blame Cody Rhodes for this, because that match was way too fucking brutal. Not brutal in the sense of, oh my god, that match. No, that match with Cody and Kevin was so unnecessary, and then he took that big bump where he went through the fucking ladder, and Cody just buried Kevin Owens 6 feet under.
Okay, so I'm not going to put that on him.
And then to the point where no one cared about the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn match at Elimination.
Are you kidding me? Me and Gerard literally commented how that was one of the best.
No. I cared. We cared, but the crowd wasn't caring. The crowd was dead by that point.
Let me ask you guys
no one
this.
cared about it afterwards.
On the main event of WrestleMania Night 2, okay? You go back and look at WrestleMania 3, Hogan Andre. The slow, methodical pace that Andre did for that match. Take away the heel winning. That's where I felt a lot like. The slow, methodical pace.
I'll put it like, as far as that, Gerard, what I'll say is I didn't like Cena's new style.
Nope.
Because Cena, we're used to him being that typical.
He's not 7 feet. He's not 7 feet.
Well, yeah, and I'm saying he's fighting. He was wrestling in that match like he was trying to wrestle, and it's like, that's not your style. You're John Cena. You're fucking John.
And even then, like, you could tell like Cena didn't take that much bumps either. Like, you could tell like this guy has a movie coming up. And
hey,
that's
his
why
thing too is
that's why he's going to take the title away.
We've all spent the better part of 20 plus years watching this guy, and then he's going to go on the internet and complain that he's the victim of being body shamed.
Are you getting fucking worked over there?
No, because of how he's complaining, because he had to go fill in his bald spot. Is he really going to complain because the fans are body shaming him because he has to fill in a bald spot?
Yeah, he's working. He's working. I think again, a lot of these Cena promos, I think he's had in his head for years. A lot of these promos, because the whole abusive relationship thing, like, it's a great angle that I didn't think he was going to go with it. I thought he was going to do the typical heel thing, go the opposite, wear the fucking, change his theme song, all that shit. But
okay, I love the heel turn. Okay, I'll sit here and tell you this. I really have enjoyed the heel turn. I don't enjoy the body of work.
But
his heel run hasn't been good.
It's funny. The mouth says
fucking woke ass fucking John Cena. That's the thing. He's playing woke Cena.
You guys will talk about, you guys will understand this. He talks the heel Cena, but all the merchandise, Rise Above Hate and stuff like that, I'm like, he's still selling the babyface merch. And I told you, and like
that's one of the parts that I don't like about all this. Like, I agree with you on that, because, like, again, they made all these shirts. They're not going to not sell them, but like the fact that he's still out there, like, looking like face Cena, yeah, it does kind of.
No, okay. Here's the thing. I said to Dan.
Okay, time out. I like that, because what did he say? You get nothing. You stole fuzzy lifting drink. You get nothing, sir. He's doing exactly what we don't want him to do. Everybody wanted him to have new gear. Everybody wanted him to have a new fucking, new style. He is the same old boring as John Cena, and no one seems to get that. You get nothing.
I was saying it to him, Jacob. I was saying what he should put on the back of all these new shirts, right? Have whatever you want in the front to sell that. And in the back of every one of them, I did it for the money.
Why?
I did it for the
nothing, Gerard. You're going to get the same rainbow-colored shirts.
Right, exactly. But on the back,
and
we'll just say I did
the
it.
One thing that I do love is that they took away his Titantron and it just says John Cena in the back.
Yes.
Like that's what I love about that. That's like the one thing. But yeah, no, I get where you're coming from, Dan. It's just like I don't know. But again, like I don't know. Like this is something that should be so like innovative, and it really isn't. Like the heel turn. The heel turn is great, and it just okay, Dan. We're talking about John Cena here. Like if Roman Reigns, yeah, it's like if Roman Reigns turned heel with an audience, like he had the binding of the pandemic. That's why Roman Reigns turned heel. But this is a whole new thing, and it's just I think it's not going to end with Cena going into the sunset as a heel. It's going to end with him going as a face.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Right now, hold on, Jacob. You don't like this, do you? You don't like this and that. It's kind of like, right?
Wait, what's up?
You don't like this version of John Cena. You don't like him coming out like this. You're complaining.
No,
about it.
I love the version. I love him coming out and doing the countdown was great. I think everything about it's great. I just think I don't know, man. Maybe I'm seeing the light because now that I'm speaking about it out loud, I'm just like, and I'm just like, man, I want to see him wrestle more. But he's like, I don't need to wrestle. So I'm just like,
last year, going into WrestleMania.
Oh, shucks. Look at me over here.
Last year, going into WrestleMania 41, we had the Cody Crybabies. Now we have the Cena Crybabies. Okay? Because, like he told that little 6-year-old kid who just gave him the middle finger.
Oh, yeah, that was fucking hilarious.
You should be ashamed of yourself. Real classy.
And you know what's great, though, is like that 6-year-old is going to remember that, and he's going to be like, hey, man.
Hey, listen, I hope, what I would love to see is 20 years from now, that 6-year-old kid in a ring, unlike the kid Sean, who dribbled the basketball for Ted DiBiase, and DiBiase kicked the ball away.
That'd be great. Again. That's the greatest story that's never been told right there.
But I'm saying is, when you look at it, and I talked to Dan after Monday Night Raw. Because after Monday Night Raw, I was pissed. Because I don't like it when any wrestling promotion tries to insult the intelligence of the fan. And when you're insulting the intelligence of the fan by booking backwards. And now what I mean by booking backwards is basically this. You give me a book and you tell me read the book from the back to the front cover because I haven't given you the front story. The old WCCW days where they would give you could read along with the book. Monday Night Raw basically made you say, hey, why is this, and this, and this going on? Yeah, they're going to take you some weeks to get to why they're going to go with that.
You're upset because you don't know why fucking Paul Heyman went with Seth Rollins.
No, I'm upset because I said there was two, not just with the Paul Heyman thing. There was a lot of things Monday night that was like, okay, why have we gone backwards? I know we're going to go forward, but why have we gone backwards?
Okay, but we never got to the crux of it. What are you bitching about? I thought it was a great show.
I thought Raw was better than probably WrestleMania in the sense of like what happened.
The Io Sky match?
Yeah.
Even though there was no build up to it and stuff like that, which I get. Listen, it's the Raw after WrestleMania. You're allowed it one night a year. Okay? Because if you do that kind of stuff every week, you're dynamite. Okay?
Well, I think
you're talking about AEW dynamite or you're dynamite?
No. Listen, I'm not saying those words because you know what? When I can go out and see these people giving dynamite A+ ratings, but Io Sky versus Stephanie Valkyria a B-.
I love how he butchers these. Valkyria.
Well, and here's the thing
Whatever.
with that, like,
Vocara, Gerard.
Listen, I'm not. Hey, I'm not Chilean, and I never tried to be. Okay, I don't play one on
but
television.
you're in a relationship with a Spanish woman. She should fucking beat the piss out of you.
Hey, she got my last name. That's all.
Vakir.
well, so with Stephanie, with that whole situation, I'm glad Stephanie Vakir was even on the show. I feel really bad for her knees because I don't know how long she could fucking do that move without destroying her knees, because like you could tell by like she did it on NXT and then she did it again. She did it like 5 times on the pay-per-view on NXT. She did it at Raw, then she did it on NXT, and you could tell by the time she was doing NXT, she was like kind of like, yeah, it's like
fan service move. But beyond that, beyond the fan service move, bullshit aside, Gerard, I'm going to ask you because you're an old school type of fucking guy when it comes to wrestling. And, I'm middle of the park and fucking you got Jacob who's a C Nation fan.
And just so people know.
Hold on.
Hey,
that match.
Understand this?
How good was that match?
Which one?
Stephanie Vakir versus fucking Io Sky.
But as a woman match goes?
As a match.
Any match I've ever seen goes. I'd say for a first time with 2 people together, an A. Not an A+, but an A.
He was looking at her ass the whole time.
No, and I'm going to tell you why.
I was.
Because your wife was there.
No. Here's the thing. Not only was I into it, not only was the crowd into it, the announcers were into it. So people sitting at home were probably into it. The crowd was into it, and the announcers were into it. So
in that one moment, you get the Netflix audience introduces Stephanie Vakir. It's the same thing they did with Dragunov last year. They kind of like brought him in as the champion, and then fucking he got injured. It sucks. I hope to see Dragunov soon. But like this is a way like they clearly have a lot of stock in Stephanie Vakir and fucking Julia because and Julia turned heel apparently during this because like now she's aligned with Roxanne, or I don't know what that was all about. But
okay, so no, technically she turned heel a couple weeks ago when she came and fucking blasted Stephanie for beating her for the title.
When she said like no friends and shit, like yeah but people didn't take it like that initially. Like I don't think.
But as far as that goes, and that's what I'm saying. When the 3 phases of fans. If I'm sitting at home watching that, I'm sitting in the audience live watching that, and I can get the announcers on board with that too, that goes to show me you have multiple things invested. More people were invested in the match on Monday Night Raw than most of the matches we saw at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'll say a lot of the matches didn't really have any stakes for me. I was happy for Punk to get his fucking WrestleMania fucking main event. I enjoyed the women's match. I mean, I love the Grande Americano character. I think it's Chad Gable's body of work as well as his fucking.
I loved seeing Dom win the title, dude.
I mean, who saw that coming? Dom, but
Hey, I'm surprised you guys haven't thought of saying his name.
Oh,
Joe Henry.
Yep. I believe. Here's the thing, though, with that. Like, I was like so baffled with that like I'm a little. I was in the camp of like I was pissed he only got like 3 minutes because Joe Hendry can actually fucking work, and I feel like a match between him and Orton would have been really good if they actually had a match. But Joe Hendry said it perfectly. He was like, he's like, it wasn't a squash. I got offense in, and he did my pose at the end of the match.
Okay.
And to defend him,
hold on, Jacob. Joe Hendry, a guy who used to fucking commentate on What Culture Wrestling, a fucking YouTube channel, just sat there and did a match at WrestleMania with Randy Orton. I don't give a fuck. That is a dream.
Dude, it was a great moment. I was expecting Rusev like a lot of people were, but then like
because whoever went out there was going to get
open. When the doors open and I just saw the silhouette, I'm like, no fucking way. And then the music hit, and then it was beautiful.
And the greatest backup to that was when Randy Orton RKO John Cena on Monday Night Raw. I wish Joe Henry would come out and say, for all you people complaining, the greatest of all time just got RKO'd. So
I don't give a fuck that he lost, man. It's fucking
wrestling.
He lost at all. In fact, how many people are complaining because he didn't get his time? He didn't get time. He didn't get time.
One thing was there's a difference between like in a traditional sense, yes, this was a squash match, but there's a difference between getting squashed and getting buried. So people were saying, oh, he's buried. He buried TNA. When was like the fact that he even had the TNA championship and they acknowledged him as the TNA champion is fucking like
And then they had him on NXT, and him and fucking Obafemi just chunked Trick Williams out like he was trash.
yeah.
You know,
and,
here's the one part people don't understand is he went against Randy freaking Orton.
yeah. Well, literally the only argument he had, like he went on Busted Open, and then he was just like, dude, I wrestled Randy Orton at WrestleMania. Like, he's like, what do you want me? He's like, oh yeah.
But
Like,
yeah, it's like, listen, I'm going to say it like this, and I want people to hopefully understand this. If Randy Orton's personal demons have not gotten the best of him in the past 25 years, good, bad, or indifference, Randy Orton will probably be the greatest professional wrestler that's ever.
Okay, when I talk about someone like Jade Cargill, right? When you look at Jade Cargill physically, that is the perfect frame for a female creator wrestler.
If you could take a model like the movie Weird Science and build the perfect woman wrestler, there it is, right there. The frame of the perfect woman wrestler is Jade Cargill.
Now, what I've said about Randy Orton is he's the male version of that, except the motherfucker can go. Go back to the beginning of his career when he was a legend killer during the age of Orton, during the legacy arc and all that. No one moves like Randy Orton. There's nobody who has that many oh my god moments. Evan Bourne when he hit him in the RKO. Seth Rollins when he hit him at WrestleMania with the RKO. That RKO really is something magical.
Think about it like this. When he first joined Evolution, stuff like that, when he first started in the business, Randy Orton was like 240 pounds.
No,
he's at 290 pounds, and it's a chiseled stone. Okay? And he
completely natural.
He moves quicker now.
Natural physique.
I'm saying he seems like he moves quicker now than he did when he was 22 years old.
It's those stem cells, man, or something. I don't know what's going on. But, like, you know, he's definitely gotten better with age. I will say that. Like, as the years have gone on.
Jake, I'm going to tell you one thing. He's not that he's gotten so much better wrestling in age.
Not wrestling-wise, but.
He's gotten a lot more humbled with age. I'll tell you that. Yeah,
because there was a couple years there where like Randy was like he was trying to be a baby face, and it was just horrible. It was one of the worst things they've ever done. And you know, the Randy as a heel is top notch. I think now it's the first time that Randy's ever been interesting as a baby face, because even when he first won the title, they tried to, like, when he first became the youngest world champion, they tried to push him as a baby face. Did not work. And
I'm convinced there is a chance that Randy might walk away with that belt.
Let me ask you this.
I honestly was kind of getting that vibe too, Dan. I was like, man, I'm like, Cena might have a project and they might just take the belt off him right now.
Hey guys,
like I was thinking, I'm like, it's in St. Louis. Randy's kind of getting some traction now, like on the Twitter. I don't know, man. I think you might be onto something there, Dan.
Take away the comment, and I look at it. In his younger days, Randy Orton, as we know, backstage was a prick. Self-admitted stuff like that.
Shitting and bad.
But he joked about it the other night with Cena. But I think in reality, it was part of it to where he said, Cena, you need some kids. Randy Orton having kids changed.
He said that. He also said whenever he worked with Taker and Taker took him to the woodshed, it made him grow up real quick.
And you know the sad part is, your freaking father was Bob Orton.
Your father was a dick too.
But I'm saying
he had hepatitis and bled on people and not told him. Fuck Cowboy Bob Orton.
Was Bob Orton.
Gross.
And it took you getting taken to the woodshed by these other guys.
Yeah, because he's one of those people who was in the business because of his dad. He even said it. He was in the military. He was like, "Oh, my dad did this."
Well, he went to the military because he had no guidance, and he went to the military, left the military, and then he went and
connected. He didn't leave the military. He got AWOL.
This just popped up.
Well, yeah. No, he did. Yeah, he went AWOL. Yeah,
he went AWOL.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying is the fact of I used to think as a person. Not as a wrestler, but as a person, Randall Keith Orton was a dickhead. But when you see him now, you know what the thing is now, and you guys hopefully agree. In his mid-40s, Randy Orton has finally learned to enjoy the
You know what I see? It's a fucking wrestling program, so I don't give a fuck what Randall Keith Orton's up to. I care if Randy Orton's going to have a good match or not.
No, because I'm saying is though he
That's
used to let the personal side get involved too much with the professional side.
So he would get suspended. And all the other bullshit aside, the man has always put on great matches, even when he wasn't.
I'm kind of with Gerard on this, though.
For
I
him-
feel like if they play this up, because now it's been confirmed that Backlash, this is going to be the main event. I mean, obviously it was fucking obvious. I knew when they announced that Backlash was going to be in St. Louis 2 months ago. I was like, okay, Cena's winning the belt because it's fucking like there's no other match you can do. But like they have like what Gerard's saying right now. If Randy plays up that angle, maybe, or if they play up that angle, like if I like you wouldn't even be here without me or something like that. Like I think that could work in a sense, but that just depends on because Randy's going to be there every week. Cena's not, so it's like I don't know.
And that's
But again, they really don't have to do shit in this buildup. They just need to get their history. They just need to put a bunch of dope video packages, a bunch of interviews about their history together, and then boom, there's the match last time.
The one thing I'm not liking right now lately, though, and I'll say it about Cena. For 25 years, we never saw the guy sell. In the past 2 months, we've seen him sell moves. It's like, wait, hold on, John. You haven't been selling for 25 years.
It's not even just that he's selling the moves. Like he's sold. Like every time he gets hit with a crossroads, he just goes.
Like that's what I'm saying.
It's like
it's John Cena's body, but I feel like it's Vince McMahon's. It's like, oh my god.
Okay, but think about this. They talked about this way back when. What was the line that got fucking Gerard hard as a fucking rock getting turned on when fucking Cody said, "You look whiter than Sting at Starrcade 1997." Gerard was like, "Oh my god, this is."
Why would that get me? That would get me turned on.
It did because you were all that was the line.
He's like, wait a minute, I wasn't turned on.
But what I'm saying is,
tuned in.
We're talking about, and he has lost. Remember, until he beat Cody, until he won the Elimination Chamber, it had been 4,000 something days till he had won a singles match, right? This is not the same John Cena. This is fucking, last gunslinger John Cena. Who's playing the fucking
he's Jeff Jarrett now. He's the last
outlaw. He's the last outlaw. They're still in from
remember that? We're still waiting on that run, It's my last year in wrestling, and I gotta say the last outlaw has a lot to give. I'm here in front of the AEW fans. It's the last outlaw.
How Randy called him out.
We haven't seen him since.
For how Randy called him out for being everything that he's hated about the business. John, you are everything you always talked about hating about the business. And for Cena, not to break a smile, not to do nothing, but just sit there and constantly take the bashings, goes to show you one thing, how of a professional he is.
But but in the same breath, John Cena is right? Think about that. Think about it. I don't like John Cena. I'm not going to pretend to like John Cena. I like John Cena.
Sounds like you do.
Hey, as a man or as a character?
As a character. I don't give a fuck about him as a man. I mean, look, he's done all the making.
Gerard, I have to say, your background looks like my parents. Like if I didn't finish, like if I got suspended from school, like they keep I feel like I'm being judged right now.
So what I'm saying is, I guess I'm not going to sit here and say I like John Cena. I still think he's boring. I don't like the jorts. I don't know. I've just never been a John Cena guy. What I'm saying is, I will still agree. A guy got fucked with for 25 years. I was one of those guys who was booing him because I thought he was boring and he was killing wrestling. So the character he's playing, I think it's great.
I liked the original Thugonomics. I enjoyed Thugonomics.
Because you like Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. That's why.
Marky Mark and the Funky. No, you want listen. You know what? When he was doing the character of Thugonomics, okay, what it reminded me of was the 5-second pose. That's what it reminded me of. Okay. Now, for all of you who don't know what the 5-second pose
Everyone knows the 5-second pose if you're watching this damn show. Edge and Christian.
is, I was going to say, that's what it reminded me of. But as he's evolved with everything to go in professional wrestling, the heels and the baby faces, how much of his babyface character killed what he was doing, who he was with, how many? And now, don't get me wrong. If he has the strings and he has the juice to kill other people's careers, there's always been a thing in wrestling. You don't want me to pull these strings. You don't want me to kill your career. Prove me wrong.
Bullshit.
Prove me wrong.
Bullshit. Because
Who could have
again,
made more money?
you said it your fucking self way back when you said they were getting guaranteed money. It doesn't matter what part of the card you're on, you're getting guaranteed money, right? He was part of that.
No. You're getting guaranteed money. But the merchandise money. Who's selling more merchandise than that guy?
Hold on.
Who's selling more merchandise?
You said it yourself. We talked about this. You get the guaranteed money, whatever merchandise is, but you guaranteed fucking money. So the thing about that was he has a direct ear to the boss to say, you know what? I don't want to do this. I don't think that's right. I think this would be better if we did this. He never fucking did it. Perfect example. Edge and Jericho both told him it was the wrong move for him to be Super Cena against the Nexus. What happened? Every one of those guys
It was a great idea to fucking attitude adjustment Wade Barrett on concrete and have Wade Barrett just get dragged into to have John Cena DDT'd on concrete and then have Wade Barrett drag him in there and then have John Cena come back as the triumphant hero to get your head slammed on concrete.
Speaking of that, I will say this. Wade Barrett was one of the pleasures of WrestleMania.
Oh, he's 100%. You're talking about professional. That guy's a professional.
Well, and it's just, for years and years we've dealt with Super Cena, and now we're in a position where
I think it's hilarious that people are sucking his dick. I could give two fucks. I mean, it's wrestling. Look.
Well, and it's just funny because now all these Cena fans are coming out of the woodwork, and it's just
where the fuck were you for 25 years?
Yeah, where were you guys then, man? I was there in my orange shirt and my fucking I was standing there 10 years old by myself at WrestleMania 26 looking around like
he was saying it. He said it the other night. He goes, in the same breath that they can say, let's go Cena, they will say Cena sucks.
Cena does suck.
They never said Cena, god damn it.
Cena sucks dick.
Now listen, we've all seen her.
Hold on. I'll tell you this. Like I said, okay. No, that's not true. When John Cena was at WrestleMania 20, did the fucking FU back when it was the FU to Big Show after hitting him in the face with a chain. Yeah, I kind of dug Cena then. When John Cena at WrestleMania 21 defeated fucking Bradshaw and won the belt. Okay, this is all right. The second I started disliking Cena was when he got drafted to Raw. He was wearing that big-ass orange St. Louis fucking shirt or jersey, came out on the fucking Jericho show, and fucking it just didn't. I didn't feel it.
You're gonna say that? Give me anybody on any Royal Rumble card who's gotten a bigger pop than him.
Which time?
Joe Hendry.
When he came out from
Diesel.
When he tore his pec, and he was supposed to be out for a year.
Oh yeah.
I said,
Rumble. He comes to Royal Rumble after 4 months, and his music hits, and that Madison Square Garden crowd would ape shit crazy.
Yeah, but watch that match though. Immediately after that, the crowd goes back to booing him. Watch that.
Yeah, you know why? Because when you're at a live wrestling event, most of the time, if you see something like that, wrestling fans at wrestling events are sheep. There was a time when R-Truth and The Miz were coming out and nobody liked them. They came out, and I hear people over there, and I couldn't help it at a SmackDown. I was like, "What's up?" I'm out there doing the "What's up" because it's fucking. Oh my god, it's live wrestling. Oh my god,
Hey, Jacob. Speaking of live wrestling. Should we talk about what happened in Fort Worth, Texas on Friday night? And the guy who's from Fort Worth didn't know
that work.
In Fort Worth, Texas. And this
guy... I had an opportunity to go to AEW like when they were in Phoenix, like the recent time they were in Phoenix, and like I was gonna go and I didn't because the Uber was way too expensive.
But you knew they were there, right?
Oh yeah, no, I was ready. But like,
This
if
guy
he has
didn't
to
know
work,
they
he
were
has to work.
there.
I didn't
If you
know.
have to work, you have to work. I mean,
Hey, let's talk about. Hey, I just want to say one thing, and this is somebody who's been with the company for years, who finally was able to get that first title.
Jesus?
Zelina Vega. I would have loved to have seen her win it in Puerto Rico when but she didn't get it there.
Oh, now you care
well,
about the
she
fucking
hasn't.
Spanish
She
characters.
wasn't. She
Now
was
you
doing
care.
nothing.
But
She was doing nothing.
to take it off of Chelsea Green and the crowd
Hold
to
on.
react for her.
Hold on, wife.
Yeah.
Someone's going to bitch about Chelsea Green. So, are you ready?
3, 2, 1.
Jacob's corner ain't no ordinary space. He rants and raves with that fire in his face. Every word a racket, shaking up the place. The whole block hears him setting his pace.
Setting my pace, indeed. Yeah. So let's just break this down. All right, let's just break this down. I got my nifty Paperboy conductor's cap. I think it's vintage too. This shit's like this is from the 80s, I think. Yeah. So the fact that Chelsea Green, by the way, first of all, I love Chelsea Green. Chelsea, if you're listening, I know you're with Matt Cardona, but you know where to find me. Yeah, no, Chelsea Green going on this run with Alba Fire and Piper Niven has probably been one of the most creative runs I've seen personally. Again, this is my opinion. This is called Jacob's Corner, so it's my opinion. If y'all don't like it, y'all can go fuck yourselves. But yeah, no. So it's Chelsea Green having this situation with Piper Niven, Alba Fire. Like they're the secret Hervis or whatever they were called. I thought it was great. It was beautiful. Now, for those of you who think that this is going to be done now, I don't think that people think like, oh, you gotta wait, you gotta let him cook. That's what everyone says. Let him cook. Having Zelina Vega win this, and as Gerard said, someone who's worked their ass off for how many years. And you know what? Gerard is absolutely right with that. But Chelsea Green has also worked her ass off too. And by the way, no disrespect to Zelina Vega, Chelsea Green is over. Zelina Vega has no reactions anytime she comes out. There's no one. You could hear someone farting Benson, as my grandpa used to say. And because Benson, Arizona, I don't know, it's an Arizona shit. But anyways, you could hear you could hear my balls drop, literally. Like if I sat down, you could hear the sound of my balls hitting the chair, like when fucking Zelina Vega comes out. It's not good. The fact that she won the title for a cheap pop, I don't think she's gonna hold the title long, because what's she gonna do? What's she gonna do with that title? I don't know. I'd rather have someone with an actual gimmick and an actual story hold a title that surrounds the title and the gimmick, because Chelsea Green, she's a Canadian. She's going on about she's the face of America, all this bullshit. And she doesn't have the U.S. title. So, and then like now it just kills the whole gimmick. Like what? She's going to have Secret Service and fucking, it kills the whole gimmick. It was stupid. Cheap pop. Chelsea Green, slide into my DMs.
Jacob's corner where the truth ignites. No holding back, no silent nights. His race cuts through the darker lights. Every last a battle, every word a fight.
Jacob,
I like how I said that with confidence, like Chelsea Green would ever slide into my DMs. Like,
I gotta say this to you.
Dan, you can't steal my gimmick, man. You gotta
not having your bed made and putting out a request to Chelsea Green won't go over so good. Have your bed made if you're gonna put out a thing like that.
Will.
Hey, man, the sheets are clean, man. All right, and who knows? This is a prop. All right, like I can make up some shit. Yeah, this is a prop. It's okay. But anyways, like I digress. I don't know what you guys
This
feel.
is where I'll disagree. I think Zelina Vega is excellent in the ring. She's absolutely undersized, but I've never heard anybody complain about that. The girl can work.
I would never complain. Trust me, I would. But no, like she's just not believable, man. Like she's believable as a manager of LA. Like that's where I'm at on her. I'm sorry, I'll stop. I'll get off this subject.
No, but that's what we're here. Fucking talk about it. Look, you disagree, that's fine. We've never really, none of us ever agreed on the same fucking subject, except for the fact that Jey Uso does not need to be champion anymore.
Oh yeah, no, everyone's talking about him right now. Isn't that great? And by no one.
Yeet.
Listen, I will say what we saw from Gunther was absolutely incredible.
Well, what I find, look, I told y'all that I don't mind Jey Uso winning. If look, whatever, I don't give a fuck. Just what are you going to do next? If he's going to lose the belt, lose the belt. We don't even know where he's going as far as fucking champion. His match is going to go. We don't know who he's facing. I care more about the guy who lost the belt than I do about Jey Uso.
I think this leads up to, Gunther's going to keep. I think right now, because Gunther attacked Pat McAfee, that was a whole angle that they did. I think this is going to lead up to the same exact thing. Gunther is going to start attacking the Crew or something, and then who else is going to come out but a Redeemer? Because that's his whole gimmick. Like if you get Rusev,
AEW gimmick, he came out and beat the shit out of the fucking Alpha Academy. He's gonna face. I'm telling you right now.
But again, you gotta I give all this shit to AEW, but again, like they brought Sean Spears in with his total AEW presentation. It went better for Sean Spears. I'm just saying, AEW is the unofficial developmental system for WWE right now. I'm telling you.
What?
I'm telling you, it is. It's going to be Mariah May is heading up there. She's going to have probably the same exact, the glamour. Like it's going to be the whole thing. Jade Cargill, when she showed up, she had the same exact kind of theme song when she was in AEW. Cody Rhodes, like when he saw the presentation of him in AEW, this sounds like I'm defending AEW. I feel like this is Bizarro World, but like, it's like. Vince McMahon told him, he's all like, we're not changing your presentation. We're buying that. That's what we're buying.
If Cody Rhodes doesn't get that visit from Vince McMahon, Cody Rhodes doesn't jump ship.
If Cody Rhodes doesn't leave AEW, AEW is doing fine.
I wouldn't say that.
I would.
I would.
Because, hey, you still have a billionaire's son running that company.
Cody Rhodes and AEW were kicking WWE's ass as far as NXT, who they're going up against, until Cody left.
Listen,
when the fans started to turn on Cody, that's when Cody left. Like, because Cody, like again, we're getting to the personal shit. Like, I don't think Cody likes that when the fans turn on him. Cody wants the fans to love him.
No, that's not why he left. He left because they started.
They mistreated his wife. They mistreated his wife. That's exactly what happened.
Look, he's come on record. I'm not saying I'm the biggest Cody mark or Cody fan, but he said it straight out. When they did, the Young Bucks put out their book. They said that Cody was the last to sign, and Cody was not nearly as involved as he was. Cody felt like he helped start that company. And I'll be the first to say, the Young Bucks aren't getting a fucking company. Tony Khan's not buying the Young Bucks. He's buying the guy on the indies who's already been there, done that, said that, and fucking whooped ass, and everybody loved Cody at the time.
That's true, but look at the way. But I'm just saying. I'm not speculating. Again,
Jacob.
Cody said himself. He's like, I'll never talk about the way I left AEW. That's what gets me to believe the way they treated his wife, the way that Brandy was kind of pushed out. I think that has a lot to do with it.
She was.
Will he ever say it?
They had a show, the fucking Road show, that was doing big time. Yeah,
no, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think something happened behind the scenes where the Young Bucks weren't okay. Because every time they had that reality show, the Young Bucks were censored. They were blurred out, or like everyone was blurred out. And it was fucking weird. Like that whole show, the way it happened was weird. I'm just saying there might be more to that than we think. I think
this is okay. So this is what I've been like. Again, we could all be getting worked, whatever it is, but
we're speculating. We're marks.
This is speculation, okay? Right? So when I watched the documentary, I can't remember if I can find it. I'll send it to you guys. When Cody had a good relationship with the Bucks. Cody had a good relationship with Hangman. Cody had a good relationship with Kenny. Cody had a good relationship with Punk. Cody had a good relationship with Jungle Boy. Cody was the guy as far as like backstage. We talked about someone holding the fucking toe in the line. We talked about Dustin Rhodes being your fucking guy that holds the shit in line, being your Pat Patterson back in AEW. Well, you know what? That was Cody. Cody was that guy. Cody has a billionaire basically treating him like shit and saying that he has no name value, basically pulling that fucking Eric Bischoff Big Show shit where he says, You're not over enough to do what the fuck you want. So he sits him away in a little EVP spot, which EVP, I can wipe my ass what the fucking EVP title means. So Cody said, okay, my contract's coming up. I'm probably not going to sign.
I'm an EVP of the Marks podcast.
Bruce Pritchard hears about that, sends a feeler out. So is that true? Yeah. Vince goes out there. It wasn't about Cody signing with WWE. It was about getting closure. I wanted to be this character in WWE. You didn't want it. Vince came down there. Well, pal, I don't often say this, but maybe I made a mistake. But we'd like to have you come back. We're not going to change your whole thing. We're gonna bring you back and we're gonna make it special. We're gonna make this big entrance at WrestleMania. He does that. That is the downfall because right after that, the whole Punk shit falls apart because Hangman decides to go into business for himself and be a douchebag. Punk makes enough money already. He doesn't have to put up with it. There's your second big star. Cody goes back. Triple H gets fucking the head of the book. Cody's like, they're treating me real good over here. Paul Levesque calls CM Punk and goes, look, we need to talk. You got some time? Well, I'm busy. Like, look, whenever we can. It was Thanksgiving Day, I think. He goes, no.
Oh, yeah.
They talk for a couple hours. Oh, my God. The guy that's got Bruno Sammartino to come back. The guy that got the Ultimate Warrior to come back. He talks to the guy that hates him the most and apologizes over the whole thing. Gets him back. So that's your second big star from AEW that were all fucking WWE talent. And again, that's the beginning of the end of AEW.
Well, again, we have another guy who debuted on Friday night who again was a very, very big advocate for AEW when he first debuted. When he first debuted, he was very much like, yeah, I'm here and there's a lot of things. But then once started shit coming out about his contract, he's like, well, I don't know about my contract. I've never been contacted because AEW has a thing about ghosting people. We had Aleister Black debut on SmackDown.
Wait a minute. You cannot talk about Aleister Black without talking about Rusev Day.
It was really great to see Rusev back. I think having him come out
and he's looked incredible.
He looked the best he's ever had been. Like that
he
was
like he did in AEW. Chill the fuck out. Calm down. You fucking put your dicks back in your pants.
He was chiseled out of stone, Dan. God damn it.
He looked exactly the same. He just had a better fucking...
Well, no, because when he came to AEW, he looked better than he did in WWE. Like, he bulked up when he came to AEW. Yeah, that's
not said he slimmed down. He trimmed out a little bit. But anyway, what I'm saying is, I'll believe it when I see it for both of them, okay? You have two guys that came over, and then you have Andrade come back. They ain't done shit with him. You have Karrion Kross. All the fucking business in the
world. Dragon Lee, when he signed, that I was excited for that. And now,
what?
Wow.
I'm liking WWE so far, but don't sit there and tell me they're going to be the second coming. It's a fucking teeter-totter. What's going to happen?
Well, and honestly, we were talking about DIY earlier. Man, I think Johnny Gargano would have been better off if he signed with AEW when he did. He would have been. He'd probably been the world champ right now. I'm going to be honest with you. He probably would have been AEW champ.
For Ricochet. My thing about it is like now.
Fuck Ricochet, bro. Man,
hold on, Gerard. You're going to talk shit about them going to AEW. Samoa Joe's look better than he's ever looked anywhere right now.
Samoa Joe is.
Hey, I got to say this about Samoa Joe.
He's an anomaly.
He has not won any major title unless it's been in the state of Massachusetts.
That is very true. But listen, man, Samoa Joe is an anomaly in AEW right now because, again,
Massachusetts also has a very heavy Samoan population, Gerard.
Oh, yeah. They're just all walking around in flip-flops up here, I'll tell you.
And again, if we're going to talk about...
Hold on. You know who else is fucking from over there? The Brazilians are all over the place there, too.
I wish I knew where they were.
Fucking Glover Teixeira has come out and said he loves it there because there's parts of Massachusetts. It's where he lives now. He used to live in Curitiba, Brazil. He lives in there now. He loves Massachusetts.
Well, see, the other thing is, too, is, remember, I live in the northern part of the state.
Oh, the yippity, I'm all white folks, the Wonder Bread version.
Oh, no. I live up there. Listen, my house is 1 mile from the New Hampshire border. So,
that's why. You hear this, right?
Speaking of New Hampshire, there was somebody in the Hall of Fame who gave a speech that was from New Hampshire. Who was that guy? Let's see here. Oh, I know. Paul Levesque. Now, the funny part about that is Nashua, New Hampshire, okay, which is about 20 minutes away from where I live. And when he was going through his Hall of Fame speech and stuff like that, and I could try and relate with what he was talking about, the behind-the-scenes atmosphere. There's one thing he said about the behind-the-scenes atmosphere that I can totally disagree with. Especially after what we watched on Sunday, there will never be another, no matter how much he says so. The guy who can call finishers will never be replaced. I don't care. Michael Hayes, if he was the one calling someone who finishes Sunday and Saturday, he's not no Pat Patterson. And now, could I say that on the other hand of saying the finishes that he called could have come across better if the crowd reacted better? Absolutely. But you want that crowd reaction to coincide with your finish. And as I say, there was finishes that just didn't make sense to where you could have got to the same point. And I said the one when it came to Jey Uso, if he had done a quick pin on Gunther, and Gunther's in the ring saying, no, that did not just happen. No. I think that comes across better as Jey making Gunther.
Let me ask you this. Let me just play devil's advocate here. Let me do a little carry and cross for you. What if I told you that maybe now I'm kind of okay with that quick tap out? And here's why. It makes Gunther come off legitimately angry when someone like Michael Cole go, I'm not the one who tapped out, you did, which sets him off down the path we're going with Gunther.
And that's why I'm saying to you, first of all, okay, there's no reason to bring Michael Cole into any storyline whatsoever.
Why not?
Because Michael Cole, okay, is not a wrestler. We saw that one time he tried to wrestle Jerry Lawler. Michael Cole is not a wrestler.
He's never meant to be a wrestler.
Correct. So he's not one. Pat McAfee. I enjoy listening to commentary. Pat McAfee doesn't need to be in the ring.
But he had some good matches. His match against fucking Austin Theory was good.
I'm just saying to you. The way I described the finish.
His match against fucking Bebe, Adam Cole was good.
I'm saying to you, the finish that I just described, to where he's yelling, that did not just happen. Michael Cole could have done the same thing. Where Gunther's all pissed off because he feels like he got screwed out. Michael Cole could have had the same kind of thing. I'm just saying.
No, but it was Pat McAfee defending his friend. That's what made it more believable.
You know what the bad part about that whole scenario was? Pat McAfee now goes on his show on Tuesday and doesn't sell none of what happened on Monday night.
Well, I mean, he's not going to wear a fucking neck brace and then fucking turn his neck like fucking Tony Khan.
Do something like cough. Be something coughing.
He didn't break his clavicle. He choked him out. Jesus.
He was do something.
Okay, Bob Uecker. Fucking Uecker.
I don't know if he like sold it. Like I would be like on there, be like, okay, I'm a little hoarse today because
right, something like that. Where it's like, I'm not asking to pull.
He's bitching about this, and he bitches about fucking wrestling shit like that. But when Tony Khan wore a neck brace, now Tony Khan's
listen. Tony Khan wore a neck brace and then fucking was like,
hey, to the NFL draft he wore a neck brace.
Oh, because he's begging people to watch his show.
Correct. I'm saying to you like this.
Well, because he's a fucking drug addict, my guy. He's on cocaine all the fucking time. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
I wasn't asking.
Allegedly, I'm sorry. Allegedly.
I was not asking Pat McAfee to pull a Joe Gertner or a
Joe Dirt.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, it's like a Joe Dirt. You like to, home is where you make it. You like to see homos naked, like it's like a Joe Dirt.
I wasn't asking to pull the quintessential stud muffer.
Damn, why isn't that your background like all the time? Like, what the fuck?
What the fuck? I don't know how that even happened.
No, that looks dope. Like that looks dope. It looks like you're like in a little white room with like the logo like in the background.
His house is haunted. His house is
Working on it.
What'd you do?
I'm like,
Is everything green in the background or what?
No.
Oh, it's just white. Still, that's dope.
Yeah.
I would literally like just keep it like completely white and then just have one logo in the background, like because that looks dope. It's like you're in like fucking you're just by yourself. You're isolated, you know.
So let's go now to get through the matches and stuff like that. Let's talk about the reaction from WrestleMania, though. The reaction from Monday Night Raw, and I'm going to talk about the fan point of view. I'm talking about the internet crowd, you know, the journalistic crowd. Let's talk about the reaction.
it was shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't like I'm not hating WrestleMania. I mean, it was passe. It was passing grade. That's about it. I thought a lot of the matches were okay. I thought night one.
It wasn't one of the better ones. If you're viewing it, it wasn't one of the better ones.
Okay, so it was
Well,
great.
and a lot of people had a lot of like weird, realistic expectations because of last year's WrestleMania. So,
Well,
like,
but the thing is
that.
this: not every fucking WrestleMania is like. Look, Dave had done a damn. I'm not an apologist for WWE by any stretch of the imagination. I've bitched about it more than anybody. Remember, I was your quintessential fucking hater. But I will say this: the fucking shows have been better. I'm watching that more than I'd watch it. I don't even watch fucking to see what's happening on AEW anymore.
The flow of the show has been definitely different. No, it's a difference of a flow. Now, mind you, I think we can all agree. Was Monday's show better than the weekend show?
Yeah, but you really want to see what I don't want to see is Becky Lynch on my fucking TV anymore.
Why? What's wrong with you?
The man is starting to look like a man.
I mean, yes.
Well, if that's
like,
the case, hey, the husband is looking like the woman.
See, it's a fucking I don't know what happened. Something. It's like a fucking.
She does like look. She's not wrestling. Okay, the luckiest thing that ever happened to Becky Lynch is she got punched in the face by a fucking big Samoan broad. That's what happened.
Yes.
No, if that
Nia hasn't done a damn thing to alter her appearance. Again, I'm not hating on Nia.
I think Nia Jackson's a good looking woman. Hell,
She's
Becky
a
Lynch,
good looking woman, more cushion for the pushing is better.
Jesus
That's the thing. Like,
I don't. It's not like look. I don't care about what Becky Lynch is doing. She's not the big deal.
no, it's just she got way too. She looks like Skeletor now. I agree with Dan. She looks a little Skeletor-ish. She like.
Look, my thing is
same
this.
thing with Jordan Grace too. Like Jordan Grace was a nice, plump woman, if I can describe that better.
That's not where I was going with this. What I was saying is that
I think something has.
Jacob, I can see the patent sitting up here, Jacob. I can see the patent sitting up here.
Well, what's up?
I think we need to find some old USA primetime wrestling where they had the oinkettes, just so that way Jacob can fall in love.
Listen, man, I love people with meat on their bones. I don't like looking at people who look like Skeletor, who used to have meat on their bones, who come out here looking like they're fucking emaciated. It's sad.
So what I was getting to.
And look at me. I've gained all the weight that these women have lost. Like I'm getting fatter now. It's just
fucking Becky Lynch is just not for me. I'm sorry. It has nothing to do with the way she looks. I'm talking shit. Becky Lynch.
Oh my god.
Becky Lynch.
I heard Trips laughing. I had to make her laugh some more. I'm sorry.
For all intents and purposes, Becky Lynch just doesn't. I don't think she can wrestle for shit anymore. It's just not the same person. It's not. The person that used to come out with the steampunk gear, like when she first started the man gimmick, as much as my wife does not like the man gimmick, she thinks it's stupid. I am not a fan of her after that because for some reason it just changed.
You know what's funny?
She stopped wrestling. She stopped training.
And again, you have someone who's tag team with her who I don't like either because Lyra Valkyria is damn good in the ring. When is she ever going to defend the fucking title? You have Chelsea.
You are certified wrong for not liking Lyra.
You know what?
I would like her if she would actually wrestle.
Hey, you know what I can't believe is we're an hour in, and we have not talked about woo. That is beautiful.
Who cares?
And Tiffany Stratton. We haven't talked about that. We're an hour.
Who cares?
Beautiful entrance. It really just enforced how much I don't like plastic surgery.
Well, I hope
That whole match I was just looking at, I'm just like, Tiffany had. I want to know that like Tiffany had great plastic surgery, and Charlotte, man, she again.
I mean, Rick looked great for 75 years old.
Okay, but again, Rick never did enhancements to his face. He probably did enhancements to his fucking penis.
No,
or some
I
shit.
didn't know Rick was going to wrestle on.
I didn't know Rick with tits was gonna wrestle. I thought, but here's the thing, man. Like everything about Charlotte Flair is
I don't dislike Charlotte either, and I think that by far one of the most athletic fucking wrestlers.
I'm gonna be nice because I really want to be like, I really want to go scorched earth, and I really want to describe what I really feel.
You know what I heard today?
2, 1.
Jacob's corner ain't no ordinary space. He rants and raves with that fire in his face. Every word a racket, shaking up the place. The whole block hears him setting his pace.
Now, I feel bad because, like, look at me. Just take a good look at my face. I look like shit. So, like, I will, like, me, like, saying shit about someone's appearance kind of feels wrong for me. Like, so I always preference proper. I always make sure I say that before I say anything I'm about to say right now. I really think that Charlotte should not have altered her face, but it is what it is. Again, I'm with John Cena on that. Like, I'm on John Cena's side when he said I was bullied and I had to get a hair transplant. I'm on his side because, again, my hair is short as shit, and my hair grows out thick as fuck, and I'm worried my hair is never going to grow back. So I relate to John Cena on that, but not going to relate to a woman because I'm not a woman. I can identify as a woman, and I'd be the greatest women's wrestler of all time if I did that. But I am not going to do that, so I'm not going to understand what a woman's going through. I'm never going to fucking claim to do that. I have 4 older sisters. Again, and people say, "Oh, he said he has 4 older sisters." So no, I will never claim to feel how a woman feels, but to see Charlotte Flair basically mutilate her face as time goes on, and like if you look at early pictures of Charlotte Flair, she looks exactly like Ric Flair. So I kind of theorized over the years that she was trying to like mutilate her face to not look like Ric Flair, but as it goes on, she looks more like Ric Flair. It's like you can't deny that shit. She's definitely Rick's daughter, but I mean, it's kind of sad because like Charlotte, like the whole instance with her and Tiffany, and again, Tiffany, I'm wearing a Tiffany Time shirt. Come on, look at that shit. Got that off Temu, motherfucker. Again, Tiffany is very plastically involved. Like, I don't know how to say that because like I feel bad talking shit about people who alter your face, but again, you're altering your fucking face. Like, again, I know I look like shit, but I wouldn't replace this ugly mug for the fucking world. Maybe I would actually, like if I got offered a ton of money, maybe. But no, like man, I don't know where I was going with this, like, because I'm not trying to insult people who fucking like, again, feel bad, but Charlotte looks nothing like she used to. It's kind of embarrassing, and it's just like it's off-putting to me as a viewer to see this. As someone who grew up with this, like, again, I'm going to have to experience this, I feel like, with every single female wrestler who comes on the fucking scene, because it's going to be a progressive thing. Once they get this money, they're going to want to get the big tits. They're going to want to get fucking plastic surgery. Sorry, I'm just, my mouth is watering talking about fucking Charlotte's tits. No, I'm just kidding. That will never happen. I'm sorry. I just lied on myself. That will never happen. I want to look the camera in the eyes. That will never happen. I will never salivate over Charlotte's tits. But No, it's like I see women like Cora Jade and like people like getting breast augmentations when they really don't need it, but they want to feel like they're presentable, and they don't do anything. It's just like, yeah, no, I don't know. It's sad. This is a very somber edition of Jacob's Corner. But again, I wasn't trying to talk about women's body. Because again, I'm not trying to talk about women's body modifications or any of that bullshit. Because again, look at me. I look like shit. So, again.
Jacob's Corner where the truth ignites. No holding back, no silent nights. It's rage cuts through the darker lights. Every line's a battle, every word a fight.
Was I too wrong with that? I don't know.
No, it was fine.
I think Gerard dipped out. Gerard's like, no.
We're back.
So okay. So I want Dan to dissect what I just said. Was I wrong in any of that?
No.
She says
No, he
no.
wasn't.
She says no.
Yeah.
Rod's
All right, well-
back. I think he was embarrassed.
He'd be
He was
back.
embarrassed.
No, I don't think you're wrong. I don't dislike Charlotte. I told you, as I've gotten older, I've become one of those wrestling fans. I'm just here to watch wrestling and enjoy it. That need I had for before, what to know what's behind the scenes. I don't care. I want to watch a good wrestling match. A couple of weeks ago, we started something where we would, basically go through all the WrestleManias match by match. And, in thinking about that, I just want to see and be entertained. At the end of the day, that's all I really want as far as being a wrestling fan. When we watched Raw, I love the Stephanie Vaquer match. She's my go-to gal as far as like NXT. I think when she comes to the main roster, she's gonna kill it. And no, it has nothing to do with her lovely
It
ass.
has everything to do
It has
with
nothing to do with.
Yeah, you tell him, Trips. Get him.
And it's okay that her
It's
ass
okay.
drew your attention first, and the talent kept you there.
I
Nothing
bought
wrong
a
with that.
shirt.
I'm sure you did.
Beautiful.
I liked Julia as well first, but it was just not just bullshit because I liked Julia first even more than her, and then I just happen to like Stephanie more now because of her in-ring ability.
That's what it was. The in-ring ability. That's what we're calling juicy asses now.
Wow.
In-ring ability.
That's all I gotta say.
I'm
Gerard,
very.
I'm sorry.
and I'll be honest with you, I'm very skeptical about what they're going to do with Rusev. I would have loved to see him come back with his real name as Miro, but that's what it is. I thought him destroying Alpha Academy. We'll see what happens next. Well, I love in AEW. I love the Redeemer character, God's favorite champion. I love that character. If CJ Perry just signed a Legends deal, let's see what happens there. The reason I'm saying I'm skeptical is because you have Andrade, who's fucking money. And they didn't know, like, he came out at the Royal Rumble and they've done nothing with him. They had some matches with him and Carmelo, and that's it. He wasn't even on the he was the only reason he was at WrestleMania. It was to sit there and promote the fucking AAA thing. That was it.
Do they have so much? Do they have too much of a plethora of talent right now?
They have plenty of fucking time.
I'm saying
Currently they have 2 3-hour shows. That's 6 hours.
my question is, do they have a plethora of talent to it to get everybody on? And then don't get me started with so you have your NXT, you got your Raw, you got SmackDown. But once again, what do you not have?
House shows. We talked about that.
The greatest way to get the guys who are working that are not working on your TV shows was your house
What
show.
you have, though, Gerard, I think, is a lot of people that would just sit there on their ass and get a paycheck.
Yeah.
Well, nowadays, because you get guaranteed money doing the house shows.
But it doesn't, like, whatever it is, what it is. I don't. My thing is this: I want to be entertained, and right now, it's so far so good. I will say this again.
Think about
We
it.
saw Alistair, We saw Alistair.
We didn't have Sheamus at WrestleMania.
Well, I don't think Sheamus, like, no one, like, Sheamus doesn't want Sheamus at WrestleMania, maybe. I don't know.
I don't
Like,
think Sheamus wanted to fucking be on the card. You know else we didn't who we didn't have on the card is Bailey.
that was fucking honestly bullshit because, like, you had one.
Again, you have Becky Lynch, who I'm sorry, I don't care for. I'd rather have seen Bailey. Now, you would have been fine with that with a fucking no Bailey. But
why isn't Tripp just on the show?
Hey,
Like, just bring her on.
Wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute. And who tweeted out because Bailey wasn't on
you're ready to hit that button again. We're about to start talking about somebody else. Jesus.
Well, no, we're, like, here's the thing. Like, Bailey was, like, she does all these interviews and, like, oh, like, I'm hoping we get Bailey in AEW. Oh no, we're gonna get Pam. We're gonna get Pam in AEW.
You know, because she and Mercedes are friends and they still watch each other's matches, so she could end up over there.
She could,
Because
but
she said there's
she
no
could.
need for her.
But
There's
if
not
you notice though,
capacity.
what the way she put out the tweet, basically saying come here for the money. That's basically the way she put out the tweet was come here for the money.
Well, and listen, like, we have someone like Mercedes who is gonna go on. I'm gonna keep it short. Like, someone who is all for the money, and again, I'm assuming shit. Again, I'm assuming shit, but like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I think, like,
here's the problem I have with it. I'm just going to tell you, plan out straight up. Bailey is someone who's always come across to me who's been doing this in wrestling because she loves wrestling. She was never out there to be a fucking doll or whatever. She's a fucking woman who likes to fucking wrestle. And whether you like her or you hate her, the girl can go. So you have Mercedes Moné who pretended, and she trained over in Gerard's neck of the woods, and you know how people from Boston are. They're all about the money and fuck everybody else. It is what it is. Whatever, Gerard. But she went over and got paid in AEW. And
okay, Mercedes is not from Boston. She's from California.
No.
Look it up, dude.
She claims she's from Boston,
No,
Massachusetts.
because she does that because she's a fucking weirdo and she's a chooch.
She's Mercedes Marner, okay? He's like.
Okay, but listen, like, okay, come on, man. Like, Mercedes is a fucking Boston faker. You're a Boston faker. And I'm not even from Boston. I'm cutting a promo on you, Mercedes. You're a fucking you're a faker.
Oh, Baylor should have been on the fucking show, but she wasn't.
But you know what? I support guys like Akeem the African Dream, guys who really came from that area and really developed themselves,
He actually came from Chicago.
Yeah, and he really developed himself. Like, he's the African Dream.
You know,
He did it for the culture. He did it for black wrestlers everywhere. He sure did.
You know something, Dan?
Yeah.
I think Jacob needs to take a ride up the 8 Mile.
Oh, I've been to 7 Mile, Keaton. 7 Mile, Keaton. That's because, like, I had to stop at a sandwich stop when I was in Detroit. Stop.
You couldn't make that 8th mile.
Anyways, I've been in the trenches, all right? And you know what? Like, I've been in the trenches. I've been everywhere, That's the thing. I've been.
What do you think, you're Johnny Cash?
Yeah, I've been everywhere. I've been in the trenches. I see a train a-coming.
Oh, no. It's a song by Trent Cash. It says, I've been everywhere, man. But I can say this, okay? When you look at stuff like that, you have a woman like her come off WrestleMania. I guarantee you they're still going to give her a WrestleMania payday.
That's someone who I don't think is there for fucking. Granted, she's making a good living. She wants to fucking wrestle.
Hey, when you say so, when she came back with the 3 of them, okay? Would you say her going out with her ACL was the worst thing that happened to Bailey? Because when she came back, she was chunky. Before she left, she wasn't that big. She's never lost that chunky weight.
What the fuck are y'all looking at?
And I'm only
All right.
I'm
Welcome
looking
to the
for
March
that.
podcast where fucking Gerard goes, a girl's chunky, so she can't be. What the fuck?
No.
You know who else is
What
chunky?
am I-
All right, so
You wanna know-
here's
you
where
wanna
we
know
are
who
with
else is
that.
fucking chunky? Nia Jax. He's chunky as shit.
No, that ain't
All right,
chunky.
so here's the thing with that. I don't know how
Fucking
to.
chunky.
I don't know how to dice that.
You don't. You fucking chop it up and put it in a
Wait,
fucking,
hold on. I'm sorry. I'm old enough to remember what a chunky bar is. Okay,
fucking
Oh.
chunky.
a chunky
The
bar.
girl can fucking wrestle, but Bailey is damn good in the ring. I don't give a chunky. What the fuck?
All right. Despite the
Chunky.
fact that Jay Leno has his doppelganger in the ring, I think that I would never describe her as chunky, or I see someone like Piper Niven, like for example, again, someone who someone else would describe as.
So he'll talk
chunky to
shit about
chubby.
fucking Charlotte Flair, but fuck that. He won't talk about Piper Niven, and he calls fucking Bailey.
I
Jay
would
Leno.
Piper her Niven so much. But here's the thing. I don't ever body shame. I
think
don't
Piper
body
Niven's
shame
very lovely as
anyone.
well, by the way. I also think Bailey's lovely.
Hey, wait, hold on.
Hey, Bailey's lovely, but
Hey, listen, Jay Leno's another guy. He's about 10, 15.
okay, but listen, put a side by side from Shayna Baszler to Bailey to Jay Leno. It's uncanny. All right. So, anyways, that's my point. So,
I want everybody that watches
But
the
again-
show to know that
but
Jacob
again-
does not speak for everyone on this podcast.
Yes. Again,
The opinions of Jacob
Disclaimer.
are opinions of his own.
yes. But it's not the face you fuck; it's the fuck you face. All right, that's the thing that I've always put the. I've always put myself in the same.
Okay.
If you
Listen.
would like to see more of these ongoing rants, please check out the Cubics channel, which is going to be in the description. He has shows like Shoot the Shit and Jacob's Corner.
Now, Jacob's Corner is not an
Oh, it's
official
always-
show. It's going to be a spinoff, where I'm pitching it to Networks, I'm
Jacob
pitching it
Cupboard.
Jacob,
Jacob's covered. And,
Listen.
I don't think that they want to see my face.
did you have your daily dose of green tea?
No.
That then? Go have some green tea and come back.
No, but here's the thing, man. I respect this podcast, and I really want it to be a respectful podcast. So I will plead the fifth, and I would like to say it was all kayfabe right there. Everything I just said was kayfabe, and
Dan? I got nothing. You got it?
I'm going to say that, I like Bailey. I think she can wrestle like a motherfucker. I don't agree with her being pulled, but I also don't agree with, Mercedes Moné trying to pull her to a fucking dog shit company. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. You have someone you have the Ring of Honor champion, Ember Moon. I'm sorry.
that's like having there's a piece of shit over here. Oh, you're my friend. Hey Dan, you want to go smell the piece of shit? No, I don't want to smell the shit. Like what?
There's a funny thing about that speck on top of chicken shit. It's also chicken shit.
No, that's literally asking you guys to hey, man, we got this program, man. They're making chicken salad, they're making all these.
Basically, what you're saying
We have-
is
we have
that's
this
the equivalent
program.
of a guy going, "Hey Gerard, you want to come do a podcast in the Panhandle of Texas, and we can do that."
Well, no, that's basically okay. Let's take example Braun Breaker, Braun Breaker and Ricochet. Let's say Braun Breaker and Ricochet. Braun Breaker is over here, man. We got this guy. He's really fucking, he gets it. He gets everything about this business. He's the intercon. He's a third generation superstar. He gets it.
Second,
And then second, whatever the fuck, potato. But you got
Okay,
Ricochet
kind of
over here. You got this flippy fucking dude. Hey man, I'm gonna go flip into that thing of shit, and I'm gonna go flipping. There's a pile of shit. I'm gonna go flipping it. And then you got this guy Braun Breaker who's I'm doing this, and this. And it's we're gonna promote this guy who flips and shit. You know what I'm saying? We got this guy who flips and shit, and he fucking does this. And then
Jacob,
Braun Breaker.
I think you done flipped your lid.
Oh, Oh, I'm off the deep end.
I think yeah.
So and again, going about Ricochet, I think Ricochet is a damn good player. He just can't talk for shit.
No, but like, here's the thing. It's the same fucking thing. Like, we have this guy who's going in. He's going into a fucking tag team match with the Young Bucks. Like, and we're just supposed to expect that he's with these guys. And it's like, we got this guy who fucking, shits in his mouth and fucking does all this weird shit. And we're going to invest into this guy. We got this guy who fucking does everything right. And we're going to invest into this guy. And now he has a big storyline coming up. And it's going to be great. And like,
I guess that's Jacob's segue into what happened at the end of Monday Night Raw. So let me set the fucking story up for you. All night, all Monday night, we're waiting to find out why, Paul, why. Why would you go and work with this guy? Why would you betray your best friend and the tribal chief? Why would you betray them for this guy? Well, they come out, they start talking. There's booze. Oh, shit. And then all of a sudden you hear that familiar da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Out comes CM Punk with a fist rolled up in tape, about to whoop that ass. Seth gets the better of him. And then you hear the tribal chief comes out, and out of nowhere, a young guy who I am convinced is going to be the fucking future of this company, who's fucking just an animal, comes out, spears the shit out of Roman Reigns. Fucking Rollins stomps everybody, and there you are with the three guys laid out.
Yeah. And once again, this led to, again, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I had a big prediction when Dominic won the title. I told you guys, I'm like, Dominic's going to win the title, and it happened. I think this is going to lead to the biggest push of Braun Breaker's career. This is going to...
When this all ended, I immediately called. We talked to Gerard the next day. And the first thing I said was, he was bitching about it, timeline, stories, things not adding up, bullshit. And I said, Gerard, you know what this reminds me of? What? 1989, 1990, The Dangerous Alliance.
Yep. And I think if they need one more person for this.
Karrion Kross.
I wholeheartedly would agree with that. I think they need Austin Theory. I think they need Austin Theory.
Fuck? Hey,
listen to me. Listen to me right now.
What if they
Austin Theory? Austin Theory beat John Cena at WrestleMania. Got nothing from it. Nothing.
Because he sucked.
Not a damn thing. He doesn't suck. Come on, man. You're being negative.
And to be fair, Gerard Gunther, I think has got his own shit to do right now.
No, but if you bring him into that, and basically you have a new Shield where you have Gunther, Rollins, and Breaker.
I don't want the fucking Shield. I want the Dangerous Alliance.
They're not a family. There needs to be no need for this.
I don't want to see you jumping up and down, stomping like a 3-year-old. I want that thing. Even though she might want to see that, didn't see me jump up and down. But I'm only saying is the fact of to where they go with it and how they get there. It's going to be interesting to see where they go and how they get there. But the one thing that I think they need to change up a little bit is you have now, if coming out of this whole situation, Braun Breaker turns into an enormous babyface because he decides he's going to switch again. Wait, I think he was on that way anyway.
This is not gonna this leads to something happens, but Braun has Paul Heyman as his manager going forward. Because the fact, again, he was saying, this doesn't make sense. It makes complete sense because when they were doing that fucking NXT against AEW show, they had Paul Heyman come out. This is Braun Breaker. And I knew immediately then, I'm just all right, this is the next Paul Heyman guy.
I'm just saying, too, is Braun Breaker was turning into a major babyface. Now you just put him out. Yes, he was. You just bring him down a bit.
I don't think it was becoming a major. Like,
people just liked him. He wasn't a baby face, but people did like him. But
I mean, like, were there many Braun Breaker signs?
NXT.
Huh?
For the longest time, he was a baby face. I'm sorry, let me say it so you'll understand it. He was a baby face in Next.
Okay.
Next.
For a long time.
No, but like everything, like in WWE so far, like I've never seen any Braun Breaker signs, so I'm just kind of like, what?
No, when he gets starting to do his routine and stuff like that, the crowd pops for him. My problem is this. Okay?
I agree.
I can't live a life of watching Dom Mysterio as my number one guy.
Why?
Come on, man.
Do you not like?
I've said it before and I'll say it again. There is nothing believable about a 175-pound guy, a la Darby Allin.
Oh, he's bigger than Darby Allin.
He is way bigger than Darby Allin.
Do you know? You know what?
I'm bigger than Darby Allin.
Can you show that video? There was a video that I watched, and it really hit me in the feels. And it was a tribute to Eddie Guerrero.
Oh,
Okay.
TikTok.
Oh, shit. It was on TikTok, and it basically said, Dominic will be the greatest Guerrero. And he has done that. He has done the Guerrero gimmick just as good as Eddie as a heel.
Let's just talk about like how the fans got behind him when he won the fucking title. Like, dude.
Hey, listen, hold on. That Las Vegas crowd, and you guys can understand this, was very pro-heelish.
I would think that, but like I just think I think they kind of knew like they're not going to cheer for Finn because he came out looking like fucking bananas in pajamas when he was fucking doing the entrance. Like he was out there looking like fucking bananas in pajamas. They weren't going to cheer for Finn. When his music hit, there was no reaction. When Dominic's music hit, he had a bit reaction because people were booing him or people were cheering him. Braun Breaker's new, so there's not gonna be that much reaction. And then Penta is Penta. Penta had the fucking great reaction and all that shit. Like the fans got behind Dominic because
I saw on Twitter and I saw from my wife telling me somebody wanted him to do that cunty walk the entire way down WrestleMania.
Dude, if he would have just went down like, you know, because people were already fucking killing time anyway. So if he would have come down doing the Cerro Miedo. By the way, my niece loves the Cerro Miedo. She does it every time Penta comes out. She always goes Cerro Miedo, and my fucking like my mom and my sister gets pissed. And I love it because now my niece is gonna be a wrestling fan for life. So. Like it's beautiful, but like, nah, man. Like this was not the best WrestleMania, man.
No,
and it wasn't supposed. I feel like a lot of people
talking about the possibility of a new Dangerous Alliance.
Okay, here's the thing with Braun Breaker and I don't think we need a name for it. We don't need a name for fucking a faction of 3 people. Like it's Seth Rollins with this heater Braun Breaker. That's it. Like that's really what it is.
Unless
I think I wholeheartedly think they need to add a woman to the stable. They need either Zoe Stark or maybe Roxanne Perez to add to the stable.
Yeah,
no, unless Paul Heyman's going to come back with a cell phone that's this big.
I would fucking love that, but like everyone,
hold on, Jacob. Hold on, Jacob. I told you if they're going to bring a woman in there, you have Karrion Kross and Scarlett.
That won't work though.
Why?
Because Karrion Kross is going to outshine Braun and Seth out on the mic. On the mic.
What about
you? No, Gerard, don't give them any ideas.
No, on the mic, Karrion
Hold
Kross
on, Jacob. Hold on, Gerard. Hold on, Jacob. Gerard's got a fucking little. He's got a whole little plan there. I can see that smile of fucking his.
Roman, CM Punk against Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch.
Ew.
Oh, and then the woman.
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna talk about. Oh yeah,
we get a crazy chick.
No, because Becky Becky would be the mouthpiece for that. And
No,
like,
do you not see what
fucking
he's
terrible.
saying, Jacob? Do you not realize what he's saying? We might get AJ Lee.
AJ Lee?
If honestly, if that's the way we get AJ Lee, then I don't know. It's like I think
Dan's like, ooh, wait a minute now.
honestly, dude, like again, that's why I say bring Roxanne into this because
No one gives
Paul
it. No, it makes sense. Damn it, Jacob. Make
No,
it
it won't make sense because they can't have again. I'm not looking into this like oh, this is gonna be a faction, like we're bringing in more people. This is not what it's gonna be. I just think it's Paul Heyman mounting up Seth Rollins, and then Seth Rollins has his heater Braun Breaker. But if we're gonna make this a Paul Heyman guys thing, then you can't bring in another fucking weird mid-card person. You have to bring in a woman.
Y'all are both forgetting. I think Gerard's getting it, but y'all are forgetting what I'm saying.
Wait a minute. Let me ask you this. Something that's never been done. You would have you would have a three-way, a six-person tag. 2 men and a woman.
It's never been done before. 2 men and a woman.
And I'm saying is, but that woman that they would bring on that other side is the one woman everybody's begging to show up.
Am I in the middle of this match? Because like,
Billy
I'm kind of
Kay.
like,
yes, we care.
all right. Well,
If
here's
there's
the
one
thing
woman,
with that.
if there's one woman who deserves to come back for that one last run and go out a proper way instead of having to leave the company because her husband left the company.
Nikki Bella.
It's Sunny.
Yeah, okay.
It's Sunny.
AJ Lee.
You know what, Sunny? She had a rough time. You just sometimes you miss a stop sign.
I know you want me.
Oh my God.
I know you.
We are not bringing back Sonny, no matter
Yeah,
what.
no. Sometimes like here's the thing. Sunny's gonna make the biggest comeback.
Okay, hold on one fucking second. I have a pretty good idea.
Sometimes you just miss a stop sign.
Shut up, Gerard. Shut the fuck up, Gerard. Don't you fucking say a word.
I said that.
Even the back of his neck is red.
Shut the fuck up.
So here's
You
the
shut
thing,
your
guys.
mouth, Gerard.
So I just want to say,
You have no idea what we're talking about, Jacob. You shut your whore mouth, Gerard.
I just want to say, when it comes to the Marks podcast, I am the most, sane member of this. I feel like, sometimes I have to sign NDAs for.
Hey, Jacob.
Sometimes the other members of the podcast get so
No,
reckless.
you don't know, Jacob.
They
If you
just
don't
say
know,
stuff,
Jacob, if you don't
and
know
like
what
I'm
happened
never.
Jacob,
I'm never guilty
I
of
got
that.
something else. You said sometimes you miss a stop sign in life, right? And sometimes you just forget every way of driving when other people are with you. Okay? Now, how they've done it, how they can do it sometimes in WWE is they forget sometimes the way people are driving.
Exactly.
Okay?
Sometimes you misread a lot of stuff. You
Hey,
misread harnesses. Like you think
you know what
someone's
they say,
the
Jacob?
harness, and they.
Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug.
What I was saying before y'all went into fucking attack me for the fucking look. You had a lovely meal, Gerard. Shut the fuck up. Anyway.
Didn't think I was going to make it.
I just want to say I have been exclusively, censored by the Marks podcast because, again, one time I just, wanted to, see, just to claim some shit, and I just want.
Wait, you've been censored. You have your own segment. None of us have our own segment on the fucking show.
I've been constantly repressed and censored by the Marks podcast to the point where I'm gonna expose it.
We let you come. To be fair, we once let him come on the show while he was in the fucking toilet, so I don't give a fuck. We don't know sense of shit. Anyway, what I was saying is y'all are forgetting what Seth said during the build-up to WrestleMania. Y'all forgot this match between him, Punk, and Roman was for the future of the business. Punk is a destroyer. Roman cannot control the business because all he cares about is himself. Seth is the only way that the business moves forward. And then Monday night, he brings to his side one of the most the biggest prospect they have, a young talent that everybody knows is money that's going to do great things. So, to Jacob's fucking idea, what if that woman is a fucking Roxanne Perez, a young up-and-coming great talent? Or what if it's my theory that it is going to be something like the Dangerous Alliance? And if you look at the Dangerous Alliance's build-up, you had Paul Heyman as your JJ. You had Rick Rude, established talent, being the Seth Rollins. And you had beautiful Bobby, who could be replaced by Karrion Kross. You had Medusa, who could be used as Scarlett. You had Arn Anderson, and you had stunning Steve Austin in that group. I'm not saying it's going to be 5 people. I'm not saying it's going to be 4 people. I'm not going to say it's going to be whatever. But if you're looking at history, and history is doomed to repeat itself, it's just a fucking fact of life. I see Scarlett. I see Karrion Kross, especially with the shit going on with them right now. And WWE's not going to let Karrion Kross say half the shit he said on a live mic backstage and not do something with it. So it was too good. It was
too good, man. It was too good. Karrion Kross, man. If that was like a work shoot and like none of the shit he said at the end, like, oh, tell the guy in the fucking truck, it really solidified, what happened. Like, it really solidified that Kross is fucking.
Karrion Kross has always been a Paul Levesque guy.
And like, that's fucking valid. Like, they would not have Karrion Kross like give this fucking thing. Maybe they would. I don't fucking know. But that's the thing. Like, again, I don't want to be worked, and I don't want to be worked in this day and age. But like, Karrion Kross really gave a fucking impassionate promo, and look, it fucking paid off. When he was on screen, when he first showed up he got a big pop because this is something that they need to do.
I'm glad you're bringing up a promo about the business, about people trying to get over on a promo. Let's talk about a promo that was done about The Rock. About The Rock selling out Triple H. And
who did that? Who did that promo though, Gerard?
Some New York guy.
What's his name?
Dave LaGreca.
Not LaGreca?
However you pronounce his last name. I look at it like this.
First of all, Gerard.
No, Jacob, you've been fucking. No, let the fucking.
No. I'm not going to interrupt
him off all night.
I'm not going to interrupt Gerard. I'm giving Gerard his place. Gerard, we talked about this beforehand. I want to get your thing about LaGreca. We got to talk about LaGreca before you get into the other shit. Because again, I want to preface this. I'm sorry.
LaGreca is a fanboy who's gotten lucky. And once he got lucky, it's no longer about the business to him. It's about the paycheck to him. And the thing to me that gets to me about the most is that you're going to sit there and talk about you're going to bash The Rock. You're going to bash The Rock. You're going to bash The Rock. Hey, LaGreca, did it ever occur to you to bash Ari Emanuel, who was just taking The Rock was just taking his orders from Ari Emanuel? Because at the end of the day, The Rock is Triple H's boss. Nick Khan is Triple H's boss. But Ari Emanuel is everybody's boss. The Rock is not coming in and taking Triple H's job, though. So he's not selling out Triple H. Ari Emanuel put The Rock in a situation to where The Rock answered, unfortunately, too truthfully for some people. But Ari Emanuel set him up for failure because no matter what answer The Rock gave, you were going to have people criticize him any way that they could. Because why? Because WrestleMania did not come out in the greatest fashion. I can't blame The Rock for that. I blame the one guy who told The Rock, I need you to come in to sell tickets.
Well, to be fair, who's booking the show?
At the end of the day, though, Triple H has a boss.
I don't give a fuck. Who's booking the show? Who's getting paid to be a booker?
Nick Khan.
No, Nick Khan is not booking the show.
I'm saying is, yeah, you're right, but Triple H has his hands tied when his boss says, I'm throwing this
so
guy
then
in.
if it comes out that that's the case, fine. But look, you've been there. Who's the fucking booker?
I understand it's Triple H, but I'm just saying to you is there's only so. Remember, Vince never had a boss. It was Vince's way. That was it.
And he was the booker.
And he was the boss. Triple H is the boss.
Okay.
If Triple H was the boss, that's a whole different thing.
Here's the thing: like everything we've ever seen about Triple H tells him like he was always like, "Yo, that's Vince. That's my boss."
That's
so
boss.
Triple H has the mindset of like, at least from my understanding.
Hey, when Dusty Rhodes was the
I don't know if. But like from what you hear from like everyone who talks about Triple H like as their boss, they always say
Famous
like, yeah,
word of Brian Pillman. I respect you, Booker man, because at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, even if it was Ari Emanuel, as Gerard is saying, even if it was maybe The Rock, maybe if it was fucking Nick Khan, whoever it may be. But even in any act of life.
Hey, if unfortunately for Triple H, his hands are tied, and Ari Emanuel is calling in.
But I'm not. I'm not gonna fucking like give Triple H a fucking pass. I like Paul Levesque just fine, but I'm not giving him a pass. He knew his job.
But The Rock put the blame on the wrong person. The Rock should have put the blame on the wrong. Ari Emanuel called me in to sell tickets.
I mean, we're looking at someone.
I put it through that I was here to do more. The Rock could have said, if I put it through that I was here to do more, I apologize for that. But I was never here to do more than to sell tickets. Rock never said it like that. He said, Ari Emanuel called me in because the tickets weren't down. What can you do? Now, from that point on, it's Ari Emanuel. Listen, I told you, it's like Jerry Jones calling to the head coach, and I want you to put the third string quarterback in. But the third string quarterback is a guy who used to be a wide receiver. You can't have somebody in a position who doesn't really know what the hell's going on. And Ari Emanuel don't know nothing about the creative part of WWE.
Okay. He knows that he wants something to get a pop.
Correct. That's what he did.
He wants to raise
something that hits the pocketbook. That's what he wanted. Something that hits the pocketbook. Uh-oh.
I'm still here.
Oh, he wanted something that hits the pocketbook. Unfortunately, before he could hit the pocketbook and explain it right, he had already gone over Triple H's head.
But again, Gerard, it's fucking wrestling, okay? It's like it's not that fucking hard. Here's the deal. Triple H ultimately is the booker. All right. Look, you've been in a job where motherfuckers will probably tab out and sell you out and fucking sell you off to they sell their mother out to fucking make a dime. That's maybe what happened. But at the end of the day, whoever's responsible for being the book is going to be the one holding the bag. He's holding the fucking bag.
I told you before.
Until I hear otherwise, Triple H dropped the fucking ball.
And like I told you, at the end of the day, the guy who was born for the business or the guy who was born into the business, the guy who was born for the business will get the fall before the guy who was born into the business.
Either way, WrestleMania sold out. They still made their money.
Look. If they $25 million minimum for 2 days of work. They're not closing up shop tomorrow.
So that's the thing. Until they are, nobody can say shit because even they have enough money to pay for the chick Stone Cold almost killed on his fucking ATV.
Which honestly, She sold the hell out of that.
Absolutely.
You gotta
She,
make
she
money,
sold
man.
more than fucking John Cena that night.
You gotta make money.
And you know what? Nick Khan's a fucking ninja because I didn't even see his ass move. I just saw him appear there.
Oh,
Say,
yeah.
you talk about Joe Hendry, say his name and he appeared.
Well,
Fucking
no,
pull that
Nick
checkbook
Khan
out.
was- hey, no, because Nick Khan was sitting in the front row the whole night.
I
with
know,
his
with
kids.
his fucking grandson or
I
son.
know, but like you gotta fucking like again, like people talking all this shit, like Joe Hendry, like came, like he did the fucking thing. Like Nick Khan's gotta be like, man, I was a fucking little usher, doing. Again, we gotta feel sorry for the billionaires. Like, I feel bad. No, but
people
like,
talk shit. That woman was sitting front row. She can't be that broke.
yeah, exactly.
Well, here's the other thing is too is, and listen, I've always been
Dude,
told
here's the thing. The fucking green, you see every single one of these fucking WWE shows, the green Kool-Aid guy, the one with the fucking green Kool-Aid shirt, he got a fucking entrance with Wade Barrett.
hey, listen, I'm going to put it to you like this. I've always been told this. If you're on the barricade and anything happens,
I told my wife this, but keep going.
if you're on the barricade and anything happens, you're the idiot who's on the barricade because the barricade is part of the show.
Yep.
It's like getting hit by a foul ball in Major League Baseball. If you don't read the ticket and it says, caution, you could be hit by a foul ball.
Caution, a drunk Texan might hit you with his ATV.
Hey, listen, if you're on the barricade, which you're not so technically supposed to be, which is, like I said, because it's part of the show, you can't hold the company responsible.
What I am happy, though, all bullshit aside, what I'm happy to see is a wrestling community come together and be like, hey, quit fucking faking it. We saw you. You hesitated before you fell.
Yes.
But no one's fucking yelling at Steve Austin. No one's yelling at the company. They're more mad at her for throwing.
Listen, I'll tell you this right now. If I'm that person, I'm like, Steve Austin just knocked me off the barricade.
Yeah. Can I get a lifetime case of? Can I get Steve Weiser's delivered to the house? We're good. Fuck it.
You know what I want? I want a Steve Austin shirt and I want to meet him. That's it. I meet him, we're good.
I want him to be on the Marks podcast.
But I'm saying is so shit happens. Okay. And for all these wrestling community people to where, like I say, you got one guy who gets lucky on his show. He has other wrestlers on there. And because now he makes money off that show, the guy does more commercials than he actually does sit there and talk. So let me tell you that thing, okay? It's a typical morning drive sports show. I'm going to talk for 10 minutes and I'm going to have a 15-minute commercial. I'm going to talk for 5 minutes, have another 15-minute commercial. I got all these phones waiting for me to talk. I'm never going to let anybody talk because I want to hear myself over talk too much. And by the time I have to answer to the phone calls, oh, we're out of time. Sorry, I got to go. Because why? It's not about the fans with them anymore. Where anybody in the wrestling podcasting world and stuff like that, it is about the fans. Because you know why? The fans make everything go. They're the ones who buy the merch. They're the ones who buy the tickets. They're the one who put up with the stupidity.
I do actually have a response to that comment, and I agree with you. I agree with you because of what happened. That they have covered that shit up for years. They have, and that has always bugged me. That right there.
Well, listen, now.
You're going to tell me there's something wrong with it that you disagree?
I am going to say, rest in peace, Mongo McMichael.
Absolutely. What are you going to say?
Same person that woman was married to.
I'm aware.
That's why I'm saying, rest in peace, Mongo McMichael. And then I found out he died of ALS.
Well, don't change the subject.
I'm just saying.
Did she give him ALS, and so Steve Austin deserved to kick her ass? I mean, what were you trying to say?
Well, see, Jacob's off right now, so I can't answer because, Jacob's off right now because Jacob would
don't dance around the fucking subject. That was a valid fucking thing.
Knowing Jacob, he'd probably let Deborah McMichael beat his ass.
Don't change.
Right, Jacob? I am not.
Look.
I am not a proponent. I never have been, and I never will be a proponent of domestic violence in any way, shape, or form. I was actually having a discussion to where I was asking somebody, what's worse, physical abuse or mental, emotional abuse.
I don't give a fuck. They're both bad.
No.
What's worse?
Because my question was to them is like, to me, I've always believed physical. I mean, the mental and emotional will last always longer than the physical. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't excuse it. I said, which one is worse? But when it comes to Austin, when it comes to that, none of us were there. We don't know what ever really happened. And it,
my point is, he never said it didn't happen.
And
So
my only thing is the
I
context and stuff. Hey, did she do something to him first that he retaliated?
I don't give a fuck. I've had plenty of exes that were nuts and put their hands on me. I've never put my hands on a woman.
Because they were probably 5'1" and you're 6'5", but you didn't need
He's 6 foot something too. Did you see the size of her compared to him? Does it justify it? No.
He is 6 foot. But I'm just saying is the fact of self-defense. And then when you're hitting a man and he decides to do self-defense, and now you call and say, oh, he's abusing. Wait a minute. There is a thing called self-defense. My question is the context of it. I do not condone it at all.
Read that.
What? What's worse? The N-word of beating the out of a defenseless woman because the wrestling crowd sure hates on Hogan. I'm asking. All I'm saying is, I'm not saying what he did was right if it was him doing it to her. My question is, we never got into the whole context of how it came about.
Let's be honest, they shut that shit down pretty quick.
That's what I'm saying.
They didn't want to.
Hey,
they didn't know. Okay, nobody wanted to know.
Right. That's the only thing.
Okay. This is something we're talking about next week because we're running out of time. We're talking about this shit next week. Damn it! We're doing this. Fucking listen. Hulk Hogan had pissed off so many people in the business that they figured when this shit came out, oh fuck, it's a perfect chance to fucking.
Because it's on videotape. It's on videotape.
Hold on. Steve Austin has an arrest record for what he did to Deborah Austin McMichael. Whatever. What he did to her. It happened. It's a thing. It happened. But they never want to talk about it because he was a beloved fucking star. The same shit. No. And I'm going to say this because I can't. You got to call it out like it is. Jimmy Superfly Snuka, for all intents and purposes, let's just say he did something and Nancy Argentina is no longer here. But they didn't want to fucking believe it and they didn't want to talk about it because he was a beloved fucking star. There is double standards in the business as far as I'm concerned. And I love Steve Austin as a wrestler, whatever. And fucking Jacob's favorite wrestler, Chris Benoit, I know, whatever happened to him. All this stuff happened and it was a double standard until they couldn't hide it. They had a whole show. We didn't know. Okay, you didn't know what happened, but you played a whole tribute to him. Until they can't fucking hide it, it's going to be there. That's what, and I love me some Steve Austin. Do not love that he fucking has an arrest record for fucking putting his hands on a woman. I don't care how much you yell at him.
And we don't know what came out of that either. Which, you know what? If we're going to talk about next week, hey, we're going to talk about next week. Guess who got some homework to do in a week's time?
Ah, shit.
No, turn to your wife.
Oh,
you just set her up with some homework. By next week's time, she has to get the full arrest report and what came out of it.
You hear this, right?
Oh, I hear it.
You see, she was on your side too. Now, okay.
She can look at you and say shit. But I'm just saying.
I'm saying this. Look, that's the next week's episode. Thank you, Dark Horse. Did you get the link? Anyway,
we ain't done yet.
My thing is this: there is double standards in this business, and people get away with it.
I want to correct you there. It's not just this business.
We're talking about this business. I'm not talking about golfing.
My question to you is this: there's men out there who've been beat up by women. Do they come forward with it?
No, they came forward to you.
Only certain people.
Lionel Richie did.
Lionel Richie did.
Well,
what about the Commodores?
All night long. But I'm just saying is though,
he was a victim of domestic abuse.
Huh?
Lionel Richie was a victim of domestic abuse.
I'm just saying is though, a true man. Lionel Richie comes out, and I'm saying to you is,
Are you saying Lionel Richie's not a true man? Terry
Listen.
Crews has been beaten by a woman.
I'm asking you, how many men on this planet have the balls to come out and say,
Not me.
I was abused by a woman and
My
really
ex was
mean it?
6 foot tall and like punched the shit out of me in my sleep. I mean, I didn't file a report or nothing, but it happened.
Well, Dan, meeting you and stuff like that, I don't know if you don't like that kind of stuff. Your silence is worth 1,000 words.
I don't fucking know. All I'm saying is, Jacob, you're muted again.
You know, the old sticks and stones may break my bones, but whips and chains excite me. That I don't
You're
know.
a
where
damn
you're
fool.
going.
You know that. No, you can change the subject all you want. In all honesty, though, there is a double standard. We got 5 minutes left in this fucking show.
A double, but my question is though, the double standard only seems sometimes to fit the narrative.
What the fuck?
But you get my point on that, okay?
Is he back in the back?
What?
Is he in the back?
No.
What I'm saying is the double standard only works sometimes. And my thing about it is like this, especially in celebrities. I told you, I watched this show on Friday and Saturday. It's called OP Live, to where you see all these incidents. So it's real police on patrol.
Send me the link on Twitter.
And a lot of times you see the guys getting beat up by women. And it's like when that happened with Austin and Deborah, who instigated it? How did it start?
It doesn't.
Now,
it doesn't.
hey,
I don't care what she did to instigate it. He
in
put
the state of
hands up.
Massachusetts. Hey, in the state of Massachusetts, the man is always at fault first. State of New Hampshire, if it's a double claim, both go to jail.
It's the same here, but it doesn't matter.
like, okay, so is your concern like if it gets portrayed that way, then it's a wrong thing? Like,
I look at it like this: if the woman claims it first, there's no, depending on what state you're in, the guy goes to jail just because she portrayed it first. If the guy, now, like I said, Massachusetts, guy goes to jail. In New Hampshire, if the guy says, whoa, hold on, I'm only protecting myself because she got me first, they both go to jail. And then the jail decide, then the courts decide who did what to whom. Depending on the state you're in, and I'm saying is at the time, if they were both living in Texas, because her story got first.
Bullshit. No, there's been multiple fucking look. Oh yeah, he just said it right there. I can't fucking.
I'm doing two things at once.
I'm reading it.
I'm not sitting here. I love Steve Austin, the character.
If she's throwing knives at him,
no one said she threw knives at him.
I've never seen the full police report either. That's what I'm saying.
I am kind of under the belief, and I really don't care about any of this because, I'm not gonna talk about nothing to do with sexual assault or something like that.
It wasn't assault, sexual. It was
something that has to do with nothing about that. Like, yeah.
What I'll say is this.
It was a misdemeanor.
Wrestling has a double. I think the wrestling business as a whole, when it comes to shit like this, has a double standard.
Very much so, yeah.
There are times, and I'll say this, I don't like Hulk Hogan. I'm not a fan of Hulk Hogan. What he did was wrong. What he said was wrong. That being said, what Steve Austin did was wrong. And as much as I like Steve Austin, I don't think he should get a pass on it, but he has.
So
what Jimmy Snippet did was wrong. But he got a pass for many years until he couldn't.
What's the common denominator?
I just read.
Who's in charge?
Again, she just said it. What's the common denominator? Who was in charge?
I am reading the arrest report and everything like that. It was a misdemeanor assault with bodily injury. He turned himself in. He posted bail. He pled no contest. He was sentenced to a year probation, a fine, and community service, and they divorced after. But from the looks of it, it was, listen, Husband and wife shit happens? Absolutely.
I've never struck my wife, and I will never struck my
No,
ex-wife.
I'm just saying, husband and wife shit happens.
The
Absolutely.
fact that this is even like public knowledge is really fucking more embarrassing than anything.
Yes,
It's like
exactly.
this is just out there for
But
everyone
I'm a
to see.
public
So
figure.
you like everyone who's watching this, like you don't need to form your own opinion. It's out there, you know. And you know, if you hurt my friends, then you hurt my pride. I gotta be a man, and I can't let it slide.
That being said,
Get
thank you
that.
guys for watching.
I-
Of course, I'm going to hit you up in the background, Josh. I'll hit you up, figure out what the hell happened. I don't know what the hell
Bring
was
Josh
over
on.
the
Come
link.
on, bring Josh on. Don't do that to him.
We're about to close it out. We can get him on next week's show if he would like to.
All
come
right,
in.
so everyone,
we're
I
going
want
to
to
talk about
bring
this
it to you.
particular subject.
If we go past 10 minutes, Dan's gonna be everything's gonna go wrong for everyone in this podcast. Let's bring Dark Horse on. Let's bring DH on. Come on.
Did you send me the link?
I did. I emailed you.
Okay.
Let's just do it. We already got the fucking like.
I'm gonna say it like this.
I will say this right now. I will never undermine, Dan. He's the leader of this podcast.
I'm not the leader of this podcast.
Okay, well, I will never.
Hey, I say yes, you are, because you can hit the off link whenever you want.
No, she can. I can't.
No, Trips. Okay, so I will never undermine Trips, the leader of this podcast, but I will. Dan, I don't want to undermine Dan and then have us be cut off, and then if we can have an opportunity to let this shit going, let's keep this shit going.
Hold on. Okay, final say goes to you. We go a little longer.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
What
See,
is it?
that's the thing.
Exactly.
And see, if Trips would have told me to shut the fuck up, I would have just immediately
She would never.
Hey, Dark Horse. I will say this to Dark Horse. What's embarrassing is the hypocrisy.
His name is Josh.
Okay. The wrestling audience, okay? In life, when it comes to everything, okay? How many of us have ever had neighbors where we saw that all the time and turned our backs to it?
Never.
I'm saying to us. I've grown up. I've seen it.
I don't like my neighbors, so I'm gonna.
Right, I'm saying is that people turn their eye to it all the time because you want to know why? Unfortunately, we grow up in a world right now. It's the NIMBY crowd. Not in my backyard. If it's not happening in my house, I could care less. And you know what?
This is not the generational thing. This is something that happened years ago that's been able to.
2002. It happened 23 years ago.
Yeah.
He's moved on. She's moved on.
The internet did not exist then, Gerard.
I'm sure it has, but again.
Oh, it did. No, it did. Yeah, there was.
We're talking about he made a point in the fact that Hulk Hogan has been vilified and what have you because of his comments.
If there was a video about Austin, no, he wouldn't be getting a pass on it.
No, because he couldn't hide it. The business hid it.
They didn't. The business didn't hide it. He came out and admitted it. If I'm right, he came out. He pled no contest to it.
What I'm saying is, are they out there promoting on WWE or this and that? Is it out there for public consumption that they're putting it out there?
Now,
look, I know from firsthand. Look, I'm going to tell you this from firsthand experience with the WWE. If there's something they don't want out there, they will do their damnedest to get rid of it.
Oh, I know.
This very channel that had a video about a former fucking president CEO has been struck down 14 times. More, look, as many titles as fucking Randy Orton has, this channel has been hit for a video they didn't want out there. And then we got lucky an entire year later, put it out there, and it got to the audience it needed. That video led to me and you meeting and etc. Now, that being said, this company, if it's something they don't want out there, they're going to do everything they can to stop it.
But every sports organization is like that, though.
So why was that okay for? So Hulk Hogan gets fucking buried in a motherfucker. And again, I don't like Hogan.
Did you hear what I said? If the video of Austin doing this to Deborah is out there, absolutely correct. Hogan's video is out there.
I know, but I'm telling you right now, they would have done everything to bury that.
Hey, here my other thing is, ask the people down in San Antonio. Because it's your lovely. They were living in San Antonio at the time. So ask the lovely people who run the state of Texas why Austin was
It has
given a walk.
nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with it. It was shut down, and people don't want to hate Austin.
Well, let me ask you this. In the 23 years since it's happened, has he changed? Has Hogan... No, hear me out.
Huh?
In the years since Hogan did his video, has Hogan changed?
He hit a woman with a fucking beer can.
Because, again, Hogan auditioned for the Rockies and he did all this stuff.
No. I'm talking about since Gawker. Since he sued Gawker, have we seen a different Hulk Hogan?
Yes, because he lied about everything.
Have we seen
more lies?
Have we seen a different Austin, especially when it comes to his new wife and stuff like that? The way he talks with her and stuff.
No, I think we've seen consistent Austin.
Oh, so he still beats the shit out of this woman?
Yeah.
It's not sending him the right one. I'm looking at it right now.
I
don't think he beats women necessarily.
That's what I'm asking you. So if we're going to have this discussion about Austin, I'm saying is, did he have a one-time mistake that he admitted to, did his community service, paid his fine, and gone on with another woman, got into another marriage, and he lived his life? Because it can happen. A guy can make a mistake. It can happen. Hogan,
definitely.
Hogan keeps making mistakes, though. That's what I'm saying.
Well, and again, but with Austin, it's him physically putting hands on a woman. Again, I was raised by women. I don't fuck around with that shit. So I kind of
it's him into a login screen.
But did he make a mistake and he's atoned from his mistake?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe he did. That's all good and fine. What I'm saying is it's not about atoning. It's about the fact that I saw this story years ago on a fucking late night fucking 10:30 news story. They covered it for all of 10 seconds. Hulk Hogan's been covered for years, and they repeat it, and they do this, and they put him.
You know what the difference is? One got $60 million. One probably paid $60 million.
It doesn't matter.
I think honestly, one had to deal with racist bullshit, and then one had to deal with women, so it kind of got buried. And I'm gonna be honest with you.
But Jacob, Hogan got paid.
With racist bullshit nowadays, that gets more attention than if a woman gets beat up. I'll be honest with you. That's
Hogan got paid $60 million. So
he's in the wrong. He paid that because he was in the wrong again.
And that's what I'm saying to you. So because he got paid the $60 million. Okay.
It's coming to a login screen.
And whatever Steve Austin's fine was.
I don't know. I don't know what it's doing. It's not.
Again, I don't know, man. Because either way, two wrongs don't make a right. It's all bullshit either way. Because Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I've said it multiple times. We'll get this figured out. If you want to come on next week, we'll have you come on. We'll talk about it. Like I said, if that's why you weren't on earlier, I apologize. That's on me.
What's happening? What?
So the link isn't working for some reason. I've sent it multiple times. I don't know what the deal is. And I'll put it plainly. Josh was supposed to come on. We were going to talk about comparisons about Triple H and stuff like that. And him and Gerard were going to have a civil debate conversation about that, because we can have fucking adult conversations.
Hold on. I was going to have a civil debate with somebody and not be.
Yes, Gerard, you knew about this. Don't act like everybody's working you.
Hey, I believe it's a work till it's not a work, and right now you're working me.
Shit. What I'm saying is we were going to have him on and talk about it, because I thought it would have been very fucking interesting to have two different sides of a discussion. But no, he brought up a valid fucking point. The fact is, and I don't talk about it very often because I find it disgusting. I like Steve Austin, the character. Steve Williams, I find, and I guess they get along now and there's peace, but it was wrong. I do not respect someone who puts their hands on a woman. The fact is, they don't talk about it. You know what they do talk about? Hulk Hogan. And yes, Hulk Hogan has done trashy, shitty things. The fucking call.
I've never heard Hulk Hogan putting his hands on a woman.
The thing, the one that got me with Hulk Hogan was not the fucking Gawker thing, and you keep bringing it up. But put me up with Hulk Hogan is he's on a phone call with his son after his son has just basically ended a guy's life, made him a vegetable.
Worse. That kills everything about Hulk Hogan. Like
And
again,
he talks about how, oh, don't worry about it, Nick. We're gonna get you on a
real
show.
reality. I'll never forget that. It's reality.
That bothered me about Hulk Hogan.
Oh, I'll never forget that reality. Well,
Okay, no, he's back. He's
Dad.
back.
I need. We can call it the new Nick. We can call it the new Nick.
Hold on. Welcome, Josh. What's going on?
God
Oh,
damn.
not much. What's up, guys? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you're coming in clear.
It's good to hear from you, Josh. Like for real, man. I was worried about you. When I heard about your accident, man, I was worried about you, man. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, I got like 80% mobility, but it's at least I can move it. So,
Dude, I didn't have a way to reach out to you.
Jacob, hold on. So, Josh, you were talking about this. You brought this up in the comment section. Before anybody starts throwing a fit, he was planned to be on here. Technical difficulties. We'll get it figured out. We'll have him on next week. But dude brought up a hell of a fucking thing. You have Steve Austin. You have Hulk Hogan, who's hated, despised by so many people. And I'm one of the people who despises Hulk Hogan. But I also don't go out there and say that I'm in love with Steve Austin. I was never forgotten about this, even as a child. You kind of destroyed one of my childhood heroes, but you destroyed one of my childhood heroes in the sense that you see behind the veil, and he did this. There's no not talking about it. He did do this.
well, I mean, if the wife beater thing isn't good enough for you because you don't have video of it, how about everybody's giving The Rock shit right now for ruining WrestleMania? Because he didn't like creative and basically walked out. But yet, didn't Steve Austin do the same thing in 02? Straight up walked out because he didn't want to put Brock Lesnar over on Raw. Did the fans boo him? Did the fans give him tons of shit? Or did they welcome him back with open arms? And then again in 2005, when he was going to do a feud with Jonathan Coachman at Taboo Tuesday, and he was going to get JR's job back. Do you remember Vince come out and said, well, Stone Cold got sick. He got sick and he walked out on that too. So I find it funny that there's outrage over creative differences or somebody not wanting to go along with the plan. But when it was Steve Austin doing that, it was fine. Everybody loved him. No fucking problem. And now I could go on and on and on and on and on. What about last year at WrestleMania 41? Did he show up for the fans or no? Did Steve Austin show up last year?
Hold on, Josh. Go ahead, Gerard.
And my biggest thing about that, okay, and I've said it before, and you guys have, the internet in 2002 is not what the internet is today, okay? So kayfabe back then was still a little bit alive. Today,
what about last year? Last year, remember the rumor was Steve Austin was going to be at WrestleMania 40. Did he show up?
Hold on. Last year, I think Austin pulled a Brock Lesnar last year when Vince McMahon was forced to resign and Brock Lesnar was out the door because it happened in Boston.
Hold on. He did come out and say that there wasn't enough money.
Right. So what I'm saying is that I think that's the excuse he might have used. But my thing is when Brock Lesnar, he was about to walk out the door, Stephanie saved the day and said, Brock, I'll honor every penny that we said we're going to pay you, even though my father's not going to be here. And Brock Lesnar was, okay, as long as you're going to honor every cent, I'm good with that.
That's the thing. They build these people up to be heroes, and not ever look. Some people are here for the money, like I said earlier.
We all know Brock Lesnar. The only thing Brock Lesnar here is for, he could give a shit about anything else.
And again, I'm a Texas native, and I'm asking you, you're not going to tell me that Steve Austin isn't about the money?
I don't think it's about the money as much as he thinks it's about the Steve Austin name, which he has everybody. There's only one. If Vince McMahon was still in charge last year, Austin's at WrestleMania 41. That's what I believe for the simple fact. I think he only liked dealing with Vince.
And can I say I agree with you, but that's because Triple H sucks at his job. He couldn't get Stone Cold there. So by Undertaker's own admission, last minute they text him or something, and he's running out to the ring. Last minute replacement. Why couldn't they do something like that this year? Why couldn't they, I don't know, have somebody come? Oh, wait, was it because Stone Cold was too drunk to come out in the main event do what he was supposed to do last year?
Well, if it was anybody other than The Rock, I don't think the crowd buys it anyway. If anybody other than The Rock, because like I said, if you listened to me earlier, unfortunately, the freaking Ari Emanuel set the rest of the group up to fail because of the phone call that The Rock admitted to him making. Our ticket sales are down. Can you come in and help us? But then he left them with no backup plan, and basically saying to him, now you're on your freaking own. I blame everything on Ari Emanuel for getting his stick in his nose in creative when Ari Emanuel should not be sticking his nose in the WWE part of creative. Keep sticking it in the UFC one, not in shit you don't know about. Because when you stick in shit like that you don't know about, you become Tony Khan.
So you think that Travis Scott coming out made no sense storyline wise?
Oh, absolutely not.
Well, hold on.
Well, I just brought it up about the Undertaker last year. What sense storyline wise did that make?
That was put this way. They always thought.
Wait. What sense did it make for Undertaker to come out and attack The Rock last year at WrestleMania?
What I'm trying to say is, it was the last minute thing because they probably kept negotiating with Austin. Where Austin finally just pulled his trump card and said, "You know what?" He might have thought they would. Because remember, Vince left in January. Maybe up until the time Vince left, Austin was booked to go in, and just like before when Vince was kind of come back. Same thing with Brock Lesnar. The problem was there was nobody there to say to Austin, we're gonna honor the exact same thing we already talked about. And you know what? Austin said, you know what? I don't trust it. I'm out of here.
Well, to be fair, none of us know what really went down. Let's be honest. Like as far as that goes, Steve Austin, I thought would have been a better fit because that's the rivalry, right? They had 3 WrestleManias together. Austin was retired after the Rock match. Taker was there. It is what it is. I mean, it was a better show than this year. I think there is something to say about Travis Scott being there because of what happened at the Elimination Chamber and all that other. No, it was Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
But
that was my next argument.
But what I'm saying is, let us talk about Triple H's booking so far. Me and Josh had a discussion about. He asked me directly, "What do I think about Triple H? Am I a fan of his booking?" I said some of it I do like. And the one booking decision I brought up was Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, NXT. And I didn't like the way it ended, but that's no one's fault. Ciampa got hurt. And then he brought up the fact that what has Vince done in WWE in the main roster? And the only thing I could think of was the Bloodline, but that was a Vince storyline. So where are we as far as that? Like what is Paul Levesque doing right now?
I'm going to put it like this. I've said before, and I'll tell people again. Vince Russo always claimed he booked the Attitude Era. Vince Russo did not book the Attitude Era. The fans booked the Attitude Era because the way they were reacting to everything. They could have thrown a pile of shit into the ring and the crowd would have loved it. Okay? For the past 2 years, Triple H has lived on the fact of the crowd is loving what they're doing. Last Saturday and Sunday, the crowd, I've said to these guys earlier tonight, the WWE could have reached that peak last year, and they're coming off that mountain. They're coming back on the other side of it. To where? Where do we go in the next 6 months? Where do we go in the next 3 months, next 6 months? Where do we go? Where they go and where the story takes us. And for 20 years, Vince McMahon didn't create one new character. Right now, a lot of the characters that you see, because they promoted last weekend, NXT guys. This is the first WrestleMania, NXT guys. Okay? But here's the problem. You keep going to Attitude Era guys. Get rid of the Attitude Era guys. See what your NXT guys can do. If your NXT guys can't carry it,
hold on. You're saying that, but AEW is built on nothing but former WWE guys.
I'm saying,
I have something for that though. Okay, let's get rid of The Rock last year at WrestleMania. Okay. Attitude Era guy. What do you have?
All you have is the Cody story. And listen,
is that good enough?
Hold on. I want you to hear this one. Hold on,
think about what the Cody Crybabies did. The greatest line Rock probably ever came up with. It was an ad-lib line. The Cena Crybabies. The Cody Crybabies. The fans hijacked last year's WrestleMania. Listen, they damn near hijacked this year's too. Unfortunately,
Are you saying that it's because of the fans? You're crediting the fans for Rock and what he did? Because if you look back at Rock's career, when he became corporate Rock, when he was on the verge of getting fired and he went out and went off on the fans, when he became Hollywood Rock, it says all fans are always turning on the Rock. It's always Rock coming up with new ways to basically tell the fans to go fuck themselves. Because to me, that's how creative Dwayne The Rock Johnson is. I don't see that kind of creativity from Triple H. I don't. So I think last year, if Rock's not there, Triple H is fucked. Because what I truly believe is Cody Rhodes is a mid-carder. And what I really believe is they've taken the entire WWE and they've brought it down to his level. If you had Rock versus Roman Reigns last year, or even this year, and you didn't have to bring a mid-carder like Solo Sikoa into the bloodline and have him be the leader, you could have had it be Rock, Team Rock versus Team Roman. Boom. That is way better. Rock versus Roman last year gets way more headlines, makes that company way more money than Cody Rhodes does.
Unfortunately, the problem is there is this, okay? And you might agree with this. Relying on your part-timers to sell the show, regardless of who it is. I've said it with Dan. I've said it 1,000 times. Okay? Because you don't have house shows anymore. You rely too much on your television product. You can't sell these shows properly anymore without these named guys coming in for short-term gigs.
Hold on, but yes, you're forgetting one thing. I know, Josh, you brought up the Rock and him having Team Cody versus Team Rock, whatever it may be, Team Roman versus Team Rock. The man has a schedule. The guy's still doing movies.
That's what I'm bringing up.
So what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, it comes down to the Rock. What if he doesn't want to do that? What if he wanted to do that one Mania match with Roman and that was it?
Yeah, no, I agree. And think about it. A guy in The Rock's position to constantly come back. What happened when he came back with Cena? Cena goes off scripts, tries to legitimately embarrass the guy.
Absolutely.
What happens last year? They have Rock Roman planned, and Cody throws his little bitch fit. He even went on and said when he won the Royal Rumble, this is what Cody Rhodes said. You can claim whatever you want. That he was told to point at Seth Rollins, and he pointed at Roman Reigns instead, going against what they told him to do. I believe Triple H told him to do that. And I believe they legitimately sabotaged Rock versus Roman, because then they did the whole SmackDown thing. And what did Cody do? Did he come out and sell it and be actually professional and do his job? Or did he pout like a little bitch, like a little baby, until he got his way? So when people talk about sabotaging, I saw it last year. I saw it a mile away last year. I see every time The Rock comes back, there's problems from all these other people in the company that treat him like shit. Where's the respect?
Hey, did you hear one of the words I said tonight was born into and born for? The guys that are born into the business will always get put in front of the guys born for. Cody Rhodes, born into. The Rock, born into. Randy Orton, born into. Almost every member of the bloodline was born into.
But that's the thing. But also, Gerard, what I'm getting at is we're talking to you when you say that, okay? The Rock.
I'm saying is backstage politics will always favor the guys born into.
But that doesn't matter. Backstage politics, whatever we says. Do I think personally that Cody Rhodes against Roman Reigns is a better story? Yes. But when he brought that up to me, that made me think, is the bullshit Vince can be gone forever, but the bullshit is still alive and well backstage.
Hey, Josh, in the past couple of weeks, I've said to Dan, when I'm hearing John Cena talk, who am I hearing when I hear John Cena talk? I'm hearing who do I say I'm hearing, Dan?
Vince McMahon.
All I'm hearing right now is Vince McMahon when I hear John Cena talk. Vince ain't there, but guess what? John Cena's damn well talking good for him. And and as much as I hate to say it, I would love to see Vince walk into that freaking ring right now. Because why? Might as well if you're going to have John Cena talk for you.
Go ahead, Josh.
Well, I'm just back to my point about bringing the company down to the mid card level. Is the bloodline better off now than it was before WrestleMania last year, or is it worse off?
Is there a bloodline anymore?
Exactly. That's my whole point.
Well, okay, let me ask you this, Josh. What do you think about what they've done with the Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu? Was that a mistake?
Solo Sikoa definitely was a mistake. Jacob Fatu has proven that he could come in and make it better, but I believe they could have done that under different circumstances. You said earlier, what about Rock's schedule? Well, he could work. He could have worked last year. They should have made it Rock and Roman last year. I believe they should have. If they couldn't have made that work, clearly he said in that Pat McAfee interview, he was at home. So he was sitting at home while WrestleMania was going on. I think there's something deeper than even what The Rock said happened. I think there really is conflict with him and Triple H. Because again, the whole thing last year where they sabotaged the match, I believe they're probably trying to do similar things this year.
Hey, I want you to think about this, and this is something that we bring up a lot. And because of the lack of house shows, you can't have these guys out there doing, how can I say, training for WrestleMania anymore. And let's just say they had a month of
training. What about the professionalism? Like, look, they're supposed to be.
No, what I'm saying is, Dan, is for somebody like The Rock who doesn't get in there often enough, we've seen him get in matches before one time and get injured. If he gets injured and he has a movie coming up or any outside activity, that costs him millions of dollars.
So what I'm getting from you, and what I'm also kind of agreeing with is that The Rock cannot be as flexible as he can, but in the same breath, he shouldn't have to be. Here's the thing.
No, but you know what you get from Dan? You find a guy that can be with The Rock, that guy can be.
But how can that happen if booking is what it is?
No, what I'm saying is you get a guy that can work with The Rock, that The Rock says, you're going to be my in-ring guy. And that's the thing. Everybody would know that's The Rock's in-ring guy. I don't care who it is. But that's the guy The Rock says.
Find me somebody other than Roman, other than Punk, right now, because it's not Cody. Let's be honest.
No. That's what I'm saying is.
Other than The Rock. Find me someone other than Cody. I'm sorry. Fuck. Other than Punk, other than Roman, that's even close to being in the stratosphere of what The Rock would pull.
No, I'm saying is The Rock would promote, this is my guy. This is the guy who's going to do my fighting for me in the ring. If you follow what I'm saying, to where I can't be here all the time, but this is the guy who's going to.
Why should they have to rely on someone like The Rock over and over again? Why, again, for that matter, why would they have to rely on bringing back a Punk? Clearly, I'm a fan, but why would they have to keep relying when they're not built like the only guy that I see right now?
You want to know why? Because the industry's not built anymore like the way we grew up in it.
They're making more money now than they ever have.
No money. I'm talking about the talent pool. You want it quick, you want it fast. You don't want to build these guys anymore to be what they can be.
Braun Breaker's doing it.
And I'm saying he can't. Listen, Braun Breaker can be in the ring. Can he grab a mic? No.
Yeah, could Scott Steiner, but he was doing it pretty well.
I'm saying listen, Scott Steiner is the Barry Bonds of professional wrestling. Now, if you want to go that route, I'm saying like I said it, I preached it. You've taken away the house show role. The house show role is what used to get these guys to do.
Okay, time out. We're almost gone. 30 minutes over. Josh, I do appreciate you coming on. Would love for you to come back on again.
Okay, now why? Why I have not talked to Dark Horse in a fat minute.
We will do that in a second. This is still a show. Hold on, Josh. What were you going to say?
As far as the future goes, they could easily make Braun Breaker that guy. Putting him with Seth Rollins, I don't think so. When has Seth Rollins ever been the guy? Seth Rollins always second or third place.
For just saying. God,
but Josh, you get my point. What I'm saying is, though, if you can get a guy that The Rock supports and says, this is going to be my guy, so I don't have to be here. But if this guy messes up, he's going to answer to me.
Well, how about this? Me and Dark
Horse have talked many times about how Seth Rollins is just not the guy.
He's not. Sucks. I would agree with that. They always would agree that.
I'll make it quick. Dan, do you mind having a show with Nigel?
Having him come on another time or come on next week or what?
Next week?
You mind? Would you like having Nigel on?
I would love to have Nigel.
We would love to have Nigel on.
Okay.
Now, listen,
Secondly,
man, I thought
go
that
ahead.
this was the fucking, the podcast. No, I'm just kidding. No, but no, realistically,
Jesus Christ.
no, it's good. It's good to hear from you, Dark Horse, man, because like I agree with you, man, because like
Hey, by the way, thank you. By the way, all you're doing is making me think, dude.
I told you.
And listen,
dude, I will say this right
Hold
now.
on. Josh, go ahead.
well, here's the thing. All right, so do I think realistically, even though it made more sense for Travis Scott to be involved in the match than it did for The Undertaker, storyline wise, I don't think you can debate that. There was a story there where Travis punched Cody right in his face and busted his eardrum, which how sad is that? An 80-pound soaking wet rapper fucked up your main guy. That's what I'm saying. He's a mid-carder. He's not the main guy. He's a bitch. But
okay, hold on. This is all crap we will talk about. Josh,
really quick, I'm going to add to what Gerard said over
bring
here.
him on here and then cut him off. Come on.
I know. I'm like, but anyways, hit Brock Lesnar's fucking music. Brock comes out. Their last match was Cody and Brock.
We can't be there. I know he did. I'm just giving him shit.
Screw all that.
Here's the thing.
It's fantasy booking.
Hey, I want to tell you one thing. Hold on one second. I want to tell you one thing. I actually bring up to somebody during the Cena Cody match. They should have hit the Rock.
Who is Cena?
They should have hit the Rock's music. Rock never comes out there.
I agree with you. Hit the Rock's music.
Hit the Rock's music.
We're about to
It's
hit
both
our
clear.
music. That being said, I'm Dan. That is Gerard. That is Jacob. Josh, please join us next week, and we may have our friend Nigel as well. We're going to have more discussions like this on the Marks Podcast. See you next week. Good night, everybody.
Hey there, Josh. All of you Marks have been listening to the Marks Podcast on YouTube.
Calling all the grappling fans, from body slams to high-flying plans. Join the chat, hear the scoops. Jump in quick, don't be a stoop. We're throwing down in every match with tales and fights that you can't catch. The Marks